Naruto God Level System, Chapter 701 to 720. Chapter 701 Meet Aizen. Looking at Hina Sentao's expectant gaze, Chen did not reject her, but said to her, "When I have time, I will teach you again." Mr. Chen agreed, "That's great." Hina Sentao jumped up happily. "Mr. Chen, I'll treat you to a lunch. I've decided to join the 4th Division, and I'll ask Captain Chen for more advice in the future." Hina Sentao said with a bow. "You also want to join the 4th team. You have to understand that there is no future in the 4th team. Don't say that you will become the vice captain in the future. You can't even be the 3rd seat." Chen reminded Xiao Sentao. "Healing and saving people is my dream. This is what I want to do most. I hope the captain will not refuse." Hina Moritao looked at Chen with pleading eyes. Rukia looked at Chen with an expression of hesitating to speak. "What? Do you also want to join the 4th Division?" "No, I want to ask the teacher to guide me too. I wonder if it is possible." Today's battle with Killian made Rukia realize her weakness. So many of them were besieging Killian, and they almost suffered damage. "No problem, as the saying goes, if one sheep is put, so are 2 sheep." "Damn, what kind of metaphor are you using to compare us to sheep? So annoying." Rukia looked at Chen angrily. "What about us? Can we?" asked Asane Renji and Kira Izuru. "Sorry, I only teach girls." Chen refused directly. "Why?" The two looked at Chen unwillingly. "You 2 big men, I will only teach you when you are free. You can take advantage of teaching girls." "What do you teach you?" "What? You want to take advantage? Young Sen, Rukia, you 2 must not let him teach." The 2 men stared at Chen vigilantly. "Hey, Mr. Chen, aren't you telling the truth? Are you really taking advantage?" Rukia asked with a expression on her face. Hinamori Dao's face was already smoking Yuhi's face. "Well, if I really want to take advantage, I won't mind. After all, it's the person I admire the most." Hinamori Dao said in a low voice. "Teacher Chen, I didn't expect you to be such a scumbag teacher." Sanjing Renji looked at Chen angrily. "Do you see my face clearly now? I'm so disappointed." "I don't deny it." Ji Liangyi looked at Chen and was really speechless. "Actually, if it's to increase my strength, I'm fine. You don't get me wrong, I just want to increase my strength, not to take advantage of you," Rukia said with her head lowered. "What? Rukia, you actually agreed? This is no good. I will definitely not agree." Asane Renji firmly opposed. "Renji, this seems to be my own business." Asanjing Renji's expression was like Yuhi's, but she had nothing to say. "Actually, I was just joking. Why are you so excited?" Chen looked at them with a smile on his face. Are you just joking?" Hinamori Dao heard the words, a look of disappointment on her face. Even Rukia's face showed disappointment. "So what are you disappointed about now? Do you still want to be taken advantage of?" Chen squeezed the chin of young Sendao and said teasingly. Young Sendao looked at Chen, and because she was too shy, she jumped into Zai Chen's arms and fainted. "I actually passed out. This level of shyness can be compared with Hinata. It's too bad, it's really too bad." Rukia looked at Chen and said. "Onion, what are you talking about?" Chen stretched out his arms and hugged Rukia in his arms, and asked with a smile. Rukia, who was hugged, had a slightly Yuhi expression on her face. "Okay, I won't tease you anymore. I'll take you back after dinner, and you will be the official Death God team members from now on." Chen let go of Rukia, and then woke the young Sentao in his arms. After Chen brought them back to the True Spiritual Art Institute, the rest was handed over to Matsumoto Ranju, while Chen came to Liuhun Street. This is the 80th district of Liuhun Street, and it is also the most chaotic area. One of Aizen's secret bases is built here. "Aizen, why don't you come to greet me when you invite me over?" Chen said lightly. "It turns out that Captain Chen has already come. I was researching something before, and I didn't notice it. It's really rude." Aizen came out and said with a smile. Chen followed Aizen in. Aizen, just say something straight. I don't have time to waste with you. Chen asked straight to the point. Captain Chen is really impatient. I don't know what Captain Chen thinks of King Spirit. Aizen stared at Chen tightly. How do you see it? Of course I see it with my eyes. Captain Chen, I'm not joking with you, I want to know your attitude. Aizen's face was extremely serious. To be honest, King Ling is also a poor guy. I really don't have any opinion on him. Chen said lightly. Lan Ran frowned, but he still couldn't understand what Chen meant. Aizen, what are you thinking about as resisting the Spirit King? That's right, I don't know what Captain Chen thinks. Are you willing to surrender to the Spirit King? Aizen admitted frankly. Aizen, you don't even know what the Spirit King is. Lan Ran's brows became even tighter when he heard the words. He really didn't know what the Spirit King was, but he knew that everyone in the Soul realm had to obey the Spirit King. As a genius, Aizen didn't want to be controlled by anyone, so he wanted to destroy the Spirit King. Although the Spirit King appears to be the ruler of the three realms, in reality he is just a prisoner who is imprisoned. How did you know? Aizen looked at Chen suspiciously. It's not important, the reason you invited me here is to tell me this. Chen asked lightly. Originally, I wanted to invite you to fight against the Spirit King with me and enter the Spirit King Palace. I'm not interested in this. I'm not interested in shooting an item. You can do your best. As long as you don't offend me, I won't target you. So, Captain Chen, you have your own goals, right? I really want to know what Captain Chen's goals are. You can tell me if it's convenient. This is inconvenient, you will definitely know it in the future, but I hope that when you know my purpose, not when you die, try to increase your strength. I can tell you that my purpose has something to do with you. Don't try to increase your strength, you can only die by my sword in the future. Quote. Chen patted Aizen on the shoulder, then turned to leave. Do you mean to tell me that you are destined to be my enemy? But you have always been a thorn in my side. Hyuga Chen, Aizen said to herself, looking at Chen's back. If Aizen has strength, he will definitely wash away the shame that Hyuga-Chen brought him, and take revenge on him. Chapter 702 Gerard Valkyrie. After returning to the 4th Division, Hinamori Momo and Rukia were also here. Captain, I am now a member of the 4th Division. Hinamori Dao said. Hinamori Dao joined the 4th Division, but Rukia did not. She joined the 13th Division. Oh, you want me to guide you, right? I'll find someone for you now and let her guide you. Ah, isn't that the captain? You are guiding us personally. Hinamori looked at Chen in disappointment. I'm very busy, so I don't have time to guide you. It can only be said that it's a pity. Chen Tan spread his hands and said. Speaking doesn't count, Rukia said, looking at Chen. Okay, I'll tell the truth. Actually, I'm not interested in teaching you, but don't worry, the teacher I've found for you will definitely teach you well. Chen handed Hinata and Rukia to Kiryu Hazun. Let her have nothing to do all day, and find some work for her. After Chen handed Hinamori Dao and Rukia to the resentful Kiryu Hakafuna, he returned to the 4th Division's office. Chen, you're back. Mao Zhawali stood up and poured a cup of tea for Chen gently. Yeah, Chen nodded, then pulled Ujawali into his arms. Let go of me first, I still have work to do. Ujawali said. Work can be done anytime. Chen hugged Ujawali, and didn't mean to let go at all. Mao Zhawali was lying in Chen's arms, looking at Chen tenderly. Chen's hand around Mao Zhawali couldn't help but move, and soon the office was full of spring, and the office was already enchanted by Chen blocked. Don't worry about someone breaking in. After everything was over, Mao Zihua lied weakly on Chen's body and looked at Chen tiredly. Lie, take a rest first. Leave the work to me, Chen said, stroking Mao Zihuali's hair. No, leave it to me for a while. I'll be able to recover soon. Ujawali shook his head and said. You still have a good rest. By the way, where are Bachanliu and Chong? Did you go out? Chen asked towards Ujawali. Chang was dragged by Yakianu to Liuhun Street to play, and Halibal and Nilu, they went together. Uno Hanali said weakly. Chen asked Maujawali to lie down and rest, and handle these tasks by himself. These tasks are not difficult for him, but they are usually unwilling to deal with them. It was all settled soon, and I was by Uzohana Lai's side, drinking tea and chatting with Uzohana Lai leisurely. Suddenly, Chen's face suddenly sank, with a cold light in his eyes, looking at the direction of Liuhun Street. Lai, I need to go out for a while. What happened? Ujawali looked at Chen. It was the first time she saw Chen exuding such a cold aura. It's nothing, it's just a guy who doesn't have long eyes. I'll deal with it in the past. Lai, you don't need to worry. After Chen finished speaking, the figure disappeared immediately and appeared in Liuhun Street. On the Street of Souls, Nilu and Halibal were fighting a man with long blonde hair wearing a mask decorated with wings. King John Cannon. Haribel unleashed a slash, hitting the man and blasting him away. It's useless, the stronger your attack, the stronger I will become. No one can beat me. The blonde man stood up, his body suddenly became enormous, and his strength, agility, and defense were all greatly improved. This is the power that your majesty bestowed on me, the power of miracles. Praise the Acura, Antelope Rider. After Nilu returned to the blade, the Zanpakudo in her hand turned into a double-headed javelin. Kuiji's gun. The double-headed javelin in his hand was thrown at the huge blonde man, piercing his body directly. Have you hurt me? But it's useless. The blonde man shouted. The blood hole on his body healed instantly, but the recovered wound had black lines. This big guy seems to be very powerful. Do we want to help Xiaochong? Bachenliu asked Kasuga Yechong. No, this guy will not be the opponent of Halibal and Nilu. Chong shook his head and said. It seems that we need to solve you quickly. If you let those death god captains rush over, it will be troublesome. The blonde man said. His name is Gerald Valkyrie, and he is one of Yohabok's personal guards. This time, he is the one who was ordered to arrest Chen, and he wants to threaten Chen with this. The invisible empire is hidden in the shadow of the Soul realm. One monitors the Soul realm, and basically knows the Soul realm very well. They also know about Chen's defeat of Yamamoto Yuan Luzai. After realizing that Chen was a huge threat, they thought about getting rid of or controlling Chen, so they sent people to attack Chong and Bachenliu. Gerard Valkyrie possesses a combat power that far exceeds that of the captain of the Gotei 13. However, Haribel and Nilu are not the ones in the original book either. Although Gerard Valkyrie is powerful, he may not be an opponent if he really fights. Conquer him. The queen, Haribel returned to the blade, and then slashed towards Gerard Valkyrie. Condensed the virtual flash on the blade to charge up, then slashed the fan-shaped virtual flash with the sword, knocking Gerald's huge body out. Although the strength increases as the size becomes larger, the target also becomes larger and can be easily hit. Damn, let you know how good I am. Gerald slammed his fist towards the bottom. Humph. Wang Shu's flash. Haribel used the ring to appear behind Gerald, and Wang Shu's flash ran through his body. The stronger your attack, the faster my defense increases. Gerard's body recovered and his strength increased. This guy is very annoying. It seems that I want to take action. Chong looked at Gerald, who had become stronger in front of him. Is Xiaochong going to shoot? Well, I really want to see Xiaochong show off his skills. Bachenliu jumped up and said. Unless one move kills him in seconds, he seems to be able to become stronger all the time, which is very tricky. Halibal's eyes became solemn. But this guy is very strong, and it is impossible to kill him in one move. Wait for me to kill you. Gerald shouted arrogantly. But he had just finished yelling when a huge foot fell from the sky and stepped on him. This foot is Susano's foot. After Chen came here, he used Susano and stepped on Gerald with one foot. His gigantic size was like a child in front of Chen's Susano, and the Susano used by Chen now is astonishingly large. And the terrifying evil aura in it is even more frightening. and the entire corpse soul world is shrouded in this evil chakra. It's really looking for death. Chen looked down indifferently, and dared to shoot at the person he cared about. Don't you know that this is his inverse scale? Chapter 703 Kill to the Invisible Empire. This voice is Lord Chen. Is Lord Chen here? Harabelle said softly, looking at the incomparably huge Susano. Are you a Quincy master? Who sent you here? Chen asked coldly. Get up. Gerald, who was trampled by Susano, yelled. After a while, the captains of each division rushed over and frowned at Susano, who was as tall as the sky. What a strong evil aura, what exactly is this? Jingle Chunchui asked. It seems that Captain Chen used it. This armored warrior can make the entire Seoringe tremble by stomping his feet. Chen lifted Susano, and Gerald was able to get up, but just as he got up, a sword light shot up into the sky, and Gerald was cut in half by a knife. Just when the captains of the divisions thought that this guy was dead, Gerald was resurrected again and appeared in a new form. In the state of the holy body, holding the sword of hope in the right hand and the shield of justice in the left hand, the powerful momentum made many captains unable to open their eyes. Even if I die, I will swing my sword for God's sake, die for me, Hyuga Chen. Gerald swung his sword towards Chen. God, do you mean Yohabak? That bastard dares to be called a god. Shut up, you are not allowed to insult your majesty, give me death. Gerald was furious. When Old Man Yamamoto heard the words, his eyes narrowed, and when he mentioned Yohabak, Old Man Yamamoto couldn't sit still. That guy was a real danger. The remnant of the Quincy. Dare to come to the soul world to make trouble, it seems that you can't tolerate you. The Old Man Yamamoto looked at Gerald and was about to start. But before he started, the Old Man Yamamoto suddenly felt like he was hit hard, his body flew out like a meteor, and fell heavily on the ground. This is my business, I don't want others to interfere, do you understand? Chen looked back and said lightly. Hyuga Chen, don't you think you're going too far? Jingle Chunchui looked at Chen angrily. Excessive. I have excessive qualifications, so what if you are dissatisfied with me? Chen said indifferently. Your name is Gerald Valkyrie, right? The heart of the Spirit King. Chen looked back at Gerald. Remove this obstacle for your majesty. Gerald slashed towards Chen with a sword. The last thing you should do is to take action against the people I care about. After a while, I will make your invisible empire disappear. Do you believe it? A cruel smile appeared on Chen's face. If he dares to take action against him, Chen has already decided to slaughter the invisible empire in a while. Why can't it go down? Gerald's sword stopped in front of Chen, unable to move forward any further. Because you are too weak. Chen stretched out his hand and squeezed towards Gerald, and the space in front of him shattered. What did you do? Don't. Gerald roared wildly, his face was completely distorted, and he felt incomparably painful. He felt that his body was being squeezed so strongly that all the bones in his body were shattered. In the end, it burst into a blood mist, and the body exerted a strong gravitational and repulsive force, and he was squeezed alive and burst. Is this the guards of Yohabak? The weak are as pitiful as ants. Chen said indifferently. The body was completely shattered, the escaping spirits began to gather, and Gerald relied on the condensed spirits to resurrect again, stronger than before. At this time, Gerald was like a giant of light. I didn't expect you to be quite annoying. Did you die twice? This time, I'll wipe you out completely. A dark Gudodama truth-seeking ball appeared behind Chen. Gudodama truth-seeking ball turned into an arrow, and under Chen's wave, the arrow shot Gerald through. This time, Gerald was completely wiped out by Gudodama truth-seeking ball. There's nothing to see, right? Chen looked at the various captains of Seo Lingting indifferently. Hyuga-chan, do you really think this old man won't do anything to you? The Old Man Yamamoto wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and walked over with scars. What if you dare to do something to me? Besides, you don't dare. Chen glanced at him indifferently, and then left with Chong, Bachinliu, Nilu, and Halibal. The old man Yamamoto really didn't dare to do anything to him, because once the fight broke out, the entire soul world might be affected and destroyed. Moreover, the old man Yamamoto has not yet figured out Chen's strength, which is one of the reasons why he dare not do it. Mr. Genryu-sai, are you alright? Yukitake Shuru asked with concern. I'm fine, go back first. The old man Yamamoto snorted coldly and turned to leave. Aizen looked at the direction of the 4th division and frowned. Hyuga-chan before was not simple in strength. Aizen felt that he would have to spend some means to deal with that guy, but he was killed by Hyuga-chan lightly. And the conversation between them revealed a lot. What is the first ancestor of the Quincy, Yhwach, the heart of the Spirit King, and the Invisible Empire? These blue dyes are not clear at all. Not only blue dyes are confused, in fact, other people are very confused. However, Kanchan is in a bad mood now, and no one dares to ask, didn't you see that the old man Yamamoto was beaten? They didn't ask any more questions. Dad, your breath just now is so terrifying. Ba Chinliu said, lying on Chen's back. Is there? I'm really embarrassed to scare my precious daughter. But those mice hiding in the dark are going to hurt Ba Chinliu. Dad, I will definitely avenge you, Chen said with a light smile. Although there was a smile on his face at this moment, there was a deep chill in the bottom of his eyes. The Quincy of the Invisible Empire is looking for death. Since they are looking for death, Chen will give them a ride. Chen, what happened before? Mao Zhawali asked. It's nothing, I'm going out and I'll be back soon, Chen said to Ujawali, Yei and the others. Where are you going? Does the guy you killed have an accomplice? Do you need my help? Yi asked. I don't need it at all, I can easily handle a group of trash by myself. Chen shook his head and said. Although the Quincy was very strong, the 26 Knights of the Star-Crossed Knights were all stronger than the captain of the Gotei 13, but in Chen's eyes, they were no different from ants. One has died now, and only 25 remain. I'm leaving. Chen's figure disappeared, entering the Invisible Empire hidden in the shadow of the Seraiti buildings. After entering, Chen did not hide at all, and walked step by step towards the Palace of Ice not far away, which was the base camp of Quincy. No need to hide, Chen was originally here to destroy them. Don't let you run away, just set up a barrier. Chen stretched out his hand toward the front, and the powerful Reiki formed a barrier that enveloped the entire Ice Palace. At this time, the Palace of Ice was shrouded in a barrier, and it was impossible to break the barrier, even Yhwach couldn't do it. Because this is an enchantment cast by Gao Tianyuan combined with the pupil technique, the enchantment can absorb any attack and cannot be broken at all. Chapter 704 Crush the Star-Crossed Knights. When Chen stepped into the interior of the Invisible Empire, the alarm had already sounded, and when all the people of the Star-Crossed Knights gathered together, the enchantment had already enveloped the Palace of Ice. Someone dares to break into the Palace of Ice and dare to attack us. Who is so bold? Could it be those waste gods of death? Kangdu was quite disdainful when he mentioned the gods of death. If it wasn't for the resurrection of Yhwach, he thought that with the current strength of the Star-Crossed Knights, he could destroy the Shinigami of Seraiti. I'll open this barrier first. Lizette Barrow took out the spirit rifle and aimed it at the barrier in the sky. His ability to penetrate everything can penetrate everything. Even if the defense of this enchantment is strong, Liji Barrow is confident to break it. But after hitting the barrier, his attack seemed to lose all effect. Your ability is very good, I will accept it. Chen's voice came from behind him. What? Liji Barrow was startled, and then wanted to turn around, but before he turned around, he felt that his eyes were dark, and then the power of his body was quickly swallowed by Chen, until all the power disappeared. Let go of Lizzie Barrow, or don't blame me for being rude. Okay. Chen smiled slightly, and threw Lydia Barrow, who had lost his strength and passed out in a coma. After Kangdu saw it, he immediately stepped forward to catch Liji Barrow. A golden light flashed across, and a large hole was opened in the heads of Liji Barrow and Kangdu. Very good. Originally, the power of the laser I used was not strong enough to open a hole in your head, but with the penetration of everything, the power is greatly increased. Chen looked at the two people lying on the ground and said with a smile. Ignoring everyone, Chen walked towards the throne of the palace, sat on the throne, looked at the people of the Star-Crossed Knights below, and said lightly, "Submit or die, choose." A group of people recovered from their astonishment and looked at Chen sitting on the throne with extreme anger in their eyes. "What qualifications do you have to make us surrender?" "That's a good question. I am stronger than you. Have you seen your two trash companions? If you don't surrender, you will die," Chen said flatly. "We are only loyal to your majesty, and the threat of death cannot make us surrender. How much more do you think you can outwit us?" said Huglin Hasward. "Yes, you are very loyal. I am very satisfied," Chen applauded them. "However, the so-called loyalty is not enough for betrayal. It's not just you here. There are also your family members. Don't think about yourself, don't you think about your family." "Damn, you want to threaten us with your family." Candace looked at Chen angrily. "This beautiful young lady, you can't say that. You were the one who shot me first. I'm just returning a gift. Come out and enjoy some beautiful scenery with me." "Ha ha ha ha." Chen laughed and walked out of the palace. Everyone's eyes turned to Yu Gelen. Yuha was no longer, and Yu Gelen had the final say. Let's go out and have a look." Yu Gelen's eyes flickered, and everyone who stayed in the Star-Crossed Knights came out. "You should see that sphere in the sky. That's Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball. Any object lifted by Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball will be erased, and if it falls, you should know the consequences." Quote. Chen turned around with a smile on his face, looked at the people of the Star-Crossed Knights and said, "It's not just those ants who will die at that time, the people of your noble Star-Crossed Knights will also die." "Your Excellency, isn't Gerald dead?" Yu Gelen asked Chen. "Yes, it's ugly to die. Would you like me to show it to you?" "Let me remind you first, if I kill you, I will wipe out your souls together, and the sanctification of Yohabak will not be able to resurrect you. I am the one who sent Gerald to attack you. If you want to vent your anger, I will take care of everything." Yu Gelen said half kneeling. "You really don't know me," Chen said with a sigh. "I don't care who ordered it, I'm asking you now whether it is surrender or death." The huge Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball in the sky is slowly falling down at this time. "Does your Excellency insist on being a complete enemy of us?" "As an enemy? A group of bastards dare to say such things. I don't know who gave you the courage." Chen instantly appeared in front of Yu Gelen and stretched out his hand to squeeze his neck. "Don't think about using the power of the holy word, it's of no use to me." Feeling Yu Gelen's small movements, Chen said lightly. "Burning fingers," shouted Busby. The flame Jinchuriki column hit Chen's body, but it had no effect. "After I use Gao Tianyuan, any attack has no effect on me, I am invincible to you," Chen said Zanpakuto, who pulled out his waist. "Destroy it, the gun of destruction." After Shikai, they were unable to move due to the pressure of the released Reiatsu. "I originally thought you guys could bring me a little fun, but it seems that I think too much, you guys are too weak," Chen said bored. "Dealing with these guys is completely crushing, and they don't even have the strength to fight back. You dare to attack me, it's not a pity to die." Chen stabbed Busby's head with a spear. Busby's body collapsed and disappeared, not even a trace of the spiritual child was left. "Busby." Yu Gelen saw the dead Busby, his eyes narrowed, he and Busby were friends who grew up together. "You guy is too arrogant." Yaskin Nakroval charged towards Chen with his flying sickle feet. He rushed over quickly, and died very quickly. He was stabbed to death by Chen with a spear, and his body was dissipated by the destruction spirit. 3 of the 4 personal guards of Yuhabak have now died, and together with Kingdu and Busby, the 26 members of the Star-Crossed Knights have now 5 dead. The key is that Chen hasn't been hurt in the slightest, and the strongest among them is still being held by Chen's hand and unable to resist. Plus that giant Gudodama Truth-Seeking Ball in the sky is slowly descending, and that counts down to their death. Chen said that this black ball can erase everything, and they also believed that the other party would not lie, because there is no need to lie to them for those who show such great strength. Chen threw out Yu-Gelen, who was in his hand, without killing him. Think about it now, whether you want to die or live. After all, there is only one life, and I am waiting for your answer. Chen leaned on a Jinchuiki column and looked at them playfully. Everyone fell into silence, and Chen's appearance suddenly destroyed their invincible confidence in their hearts. I thought I was strong enough, but I didn't expect to meet such a terrifying guy. The members of the guards are stronger than the others, but they were all killed by an understatement. At this time, the people of the Star-Crossed Knights were a little desperate, and they were completely crushed. Chapter 705 The Invisible Empire is Destroyed. Superior. The people of the Star-Crossed Knights fell into silence collectively, and the threat of death was constantly approaching above their heads. Holy Slayer. Looking at the flying arrow, Chen grabbed it with one hand and smiled coldly. It seems that you are not good. You still have to kill a few more chops, so you can be more good. Chen took the gun of destruction in his hand and walked towards the Star-Crossed Knights. Fight. Bloody Suit. After Kuruji Op used the Bloody Suit, he used his flying sickle to quickly approach Chen. Vulnerable. The spear in Chen's hand swept forward, a real air blade full of destructive aura, beheading him in the blink of an eye. After beheading Kuruya Op, he also beheaded Pepe Vacabrata, who was standing behind him. Damn, how can this person be so strong? Bombietta Basta said by biting Kiba. After using all the Holy Communion, I fought with him. Candace shouted. What a pity. Chen shook his head, and the huge Gudodama truth-seeking ball in the sky suddenly disappeared. The others saw Gudodama truth-seeking ball, who had suddenly disappeared. They looked at Chen inexplicably. Chen took back his Zanpakudo Shikai and took out Ryujin Jaka. Vientian 387 Everything is ashes. Bankai Zenka no Tachi. The rolling heat waves rushed towards the surroundings. The ice and snow that never melted all year round completely melted, and countless people were scorched by this powerful temperature. If you can't beat me quickly and let me touch Bankai, then all of you will die. Fight hard. I like to see you ants struggling. Chen looked at them lightly. There are also your family and companions here. Maybe you can hold on for a long time, but they can't hold on for too long, and they will all be wiped out soon. You don't know our Star-Crossed Knights. For us, there are no companions. Robert Agutran said. The Star-Crossed Knights have little companionship, and they don't even care about their family members. Oh, I didn't expect you to be so ruthless. Then I'm really out of luck, but don't you care about your own lives? To die for your majesty, we are willing, continued Robert Agutran. It seems that you are very proud of being a pawn of a pug. I'll send you to death. It won't be long before I send your loyal majesty over. Chen said with a chuckle. Don't be too complacent. After using the Holy Communion, I can't compare before. God's pace. Zenka no Tachi East Rising Sun Blade. Robert Agutran, who had just used the steps of God to appear here, was evaporated in an instant. The Rising Sun Blade's trick is to concentrate all the heat of the flame on the tip of the blade, neither burning nor releasing explosive flames, but just wiping out everything it touches without a trace. Which of you want to die next? If you don't choose, I will use a big move to kill you all in seconds. Chen looked at them and said. Wait, I choose to surrender. Bombietta said. Bombietta, you are going to betray your majesty. Nyanso Wasuo looked at Bombietta with a bad look. Although I'm a member of the Star-Crossed Knights, I haven't even seen Yohabak's face, so why should I risk my life for him? Bombietta said as a matter of course. Very well, it seems that there are still smart people. Stand behind me. Chen said softly with a faint smile. Bombietta left quickly, for fear of being attacked by other members of the Star-Crossed Knights. There are still great years, and she doesn't want to die, especially for those who have never met. The next person to kill is you, the two-tongued person. You have to be careful, I am kindly reminding you. Chen said to Nyingso Wasuo. Nyingso Wasuo is very confident. His ability is tortuous. As long as he is instinctively aware of the opponent's attack and avoids his body, even an invisible enemy cannot hurt him. But if instinct can't find it, then this ability won't work. Nyanso Wasuo stared closely at Chen, but suddenly Chen's figure disappeared. What? Nyingso Wasuo was stunned for a moment, then his body turned into dust and dissipated. His instincts can't even know how Chen attacked. The difference between the two sides is simply the difference in dimension. One more died, how long can the rest of you last? Chen asked them indifferently. Zenka no Tachi on all the time, the entire ice palace disappeared because of the strong temperature, and the invisible empire except for the star-crossed knights, everyone else had died under the scorching heat. Even the people of the star-crossed knights are slowly dying, and the water in their bodies is rapidly evaporating. It won't take long for them to become mummified corpses without Chen's hands. My lord, if you continue to drive Bankai, I may die. Bombietta couldn't help saying. She could feel that the blood in her body was rapidly evaporating, and she might die soon. Really, I've always been kind to my subordinates. Chen relieved Ryujin Jaka's Bankai. After Chen lifted Bankai, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Bankai was turned on for another minute, they would all die. I want to know, where is Yohabak now? I don't know if you can tell me. Chen looked at Yu Gelen. As Yohabak's most trusted person, Yu Grand Hasward should know some information about Yohabak from Akatsuki. Facing Chen's question, Yu Gelen chose to remain silent. Don't say it, I don't have much interest anyway, Chen Tan said. Is there anything else to surrender? The last chance. I choose to surrender. Menina Makaran thought for a moment, then said. Menina, what are you talking about? Candace grabbed Menina and asked. Candice, there is no good choice now. If you don't surrender to us, there is only a dead end. Menina shook her head and said. Just like Bombietta said, we don't have to die for someone we haven't seen. The entire Star-Crossed Knights, although they all receive the power of the holy word of Yuhabak, but very few have actually seen Yuhabak. Like Candace, Menina, they all appeared after Yohabak was sealed, and it was impossible to see Yohabak. Candace hesitated for a while, but in the end she still felt that it was better for her to live. With the three traitors Bombietta, Candace, and Menina, the other people's minds became more active. You don't have to be afraid of death, even if you are dead, His Majesty can use sanctification to resurrect you. Yu Gelen said. Yeah, Yuhabak's sanctification can indeed bring you back to life, but do you think the person I killed can be resurrected? Chen said with a sneer. Chapter 706 The Invisible Empire is Destroyed. Down. Looking at the silent crowd, Chen sat on the chair he had made, and looked at them with a light smile. You have to believe in His Majesty's ability. At this time, we don't need to fear death. When His Majesty regains his power, it will be time to resurrect us and take back the world. Yu Gelen said again. Yu Gelen's words caused hesitation on the faces of those who were shaken and wanted to surrender, not knowing what to do. Put your hope of life on others, this is the behavior of the weak. Chen said calmly. With your strength, you don't need any subordinates. Who knows what will happen to you? Yu Jlan looked at Chen indifferently. Hearing Yu Gelen's words, standing behind Chen, the faces of the three women, Bombietta, Menina, and Candace, who had already chosen to surrender, showed hesitation. The man in front of him is a ruthless man who kills without blinking an eye. He just killed the people of the Star-Crossed Knights, but he showed no mercy. Who knows what will happen in the future after surrendering to him? You are right, but if you don't surrender to me, you will die now. Chen said lightly. Okay, in fact, you are also dispensable to me. It is enough for 3 people to surrender. Besides, most of you are men. I don't like men's subordinates. Chen stood up and took the 3 women behind him. Kamui space. Next, it's time to stage a knife and a child. The scene will be bloody, you can close your eyes. Chen slowly pulled out Zanpakudo. The white Zanpakudo, the hilt and the blade are all white, and it seems to exude a holy breath, but this Zanpakudo has the strongest destructive power. Shunbu. One word slash. Yu Gelin's eyes widened, and he hurriedly put the sword in front of him, but his sword was cut off with one slash, and his body was also divided into two parts. The strongest person other than Yohabak, the current leader of the Star-Crossed Knights, was beheaded by Tatsuya. After swallowing Bang Yu, Chen's strength increased every day, and even Chen couldn't figure out how strong he was under all his strength. Don't do it, I will surrender. Giselle Jewel shouted. Oh, it's too late, now you all die. I don't have much patience to play with you anymore. They have given opportunities before, but they themselves do not cherish it. Return to nothingness. The blade of nothingness. Zanpakuto in Chen's hand instantly changed shape and turned into a jet black blade. After Shikai was completed, the space began to collapse piece by piece. Everything has been destroyed and nothing, and is constantly spreading around. Before Chen attacked, everything began to turn into nothingness, and the people of the Star-Crossed Knights were swept in the blink of an eye, and then all turned into nothingness. Let's get rid of it. This is exactly Zanpakuto born to destroy the world. Chen immediately dismissed Bankai. Before Chen swung his sword, all those guys died because of Chen's Zanpakuto Bankai. Not long after Jay Chen came in, this powerful force that could crush Gote 13 was completely destroyed. I don't know what will happen to Yuhabak after his resurrection. If his power is so dissipated, I am afraid he will go crazy. The Invisible Empire was destroyed, and Chen didn't stay here too long. The Palace of Ice had completely disappeared, and there was nothing to see here. Just leave here and return to the Jingling Court. Come out, the three of you. Chen released Bombietta, Candace, and Menina who were in the Kamui space. After the three girls came out, they asked in a low voice, could this be the Soul Realm? That's right, the three of you will protect my daughter Bachinliu for me. If anything happens to her, you will apologize with death. Chen looked at the three of them and said. These three people are all good, and they are the captains of the Gote 13 team, and they are not their opponents. Also, don't think about playing tricks, or you'll die ugly, and I promise it'll be even more ugly than dying under the sanctity of Yohabak. Chen warned them that if they really wanted to do something, Chen would not treat them with pity. The three girls nodded quickly. They didn't dare to betray Chen, and the scenes of Chen killing the people of the Star-Crossed Knights before, were still shown in front of their eyes. Chen, who are they? Mao Zhawali felt Chen's breath and walked out of the 4th Division's quarters. The newly recruited subordinates, let them follow Halibal first. Let them protect Bachinliu in the future. Chen said to Ujawali. Ujawa nodded and didn't ask any further questions. I actually brought back 3 women, huh? Chong badly glanced at the 3 women of Bambi Iada, and then stepped on Chen heavily. Chong, you are really courageous, I don't think I can handle you well. Chen took Chong in his arms and lowered his head and said in Chong's ear. Chong's face was red Yuhi, but he didn't speak, but looked at Chen not to be outdone, as if he was provoking Chen. Chong, are you provoking me? Chen asked while pinching Chong's face. Humph. Chong hummed softly. Very good, it seems that you are good at Chong. Chen disappeared with Chong in an instant. Chen left, and Bambi Iada, Candace, and Menina looked at Ujawali. They were not familiar with it here, so they could only watch the arrangement of Ujawali. Follow me first. I'll arrange a place for you to live, Ujawali said to them. After arranging a place for them to live, Ujawali left. She still has work to do, and it is estimated that it will not be long before Chong will ask her for help. In the future, we will be someone else's subordinates. Now, Candace, you are really safe. You are nothing like you before. Bombiata looked at Candace and said. Candace is irritable and easy to get angry, but now she doesn't show it at all. The me now, or the me before? I don't want to die yet. Candace glanced at Bambiata and said. Cut tilde. It turns out that you are also afraid of death. I thought you were not afraid of death. Bombietta, are you trying to cause trouble on purpose? Do you want to go out and have a fight? Electric light shone on Candace's body. When facing the terrifying man Chen, Candace can indeed restrain her temperament, but not in front of Bambietta. What's more, Candace didn't like Bambietta in the first place. Okay, you don't want to fight and be punished. We don't know the character of adults yet, so it's better to restrain yourself. Menina persuaded. Humph. If there is a chance, I will definitely teach you a lesson. Candace said with a cold snort. Chi tilde. It's like I'm afraid of you, don't you think too highly of yourself? Bambietta said bluntly. But because they were afraid of Chen, they didn't really fight, but they showed no mercy. Chapter 707 Learning to cook can make you stronger. The turbid coat of arms is faintly revealed, and the unruly and arrogant talent, the tide, the negation, the paralysis, the momentary, hinders the long sleep. The crawling iron princess, the clay doll that constantly self-mutilates, combines, rebounds, and extends to the ground. Akatsuki's own powerlessness. Destruction 90 Black Coffin. A huge pitch-black cube appeared, but it only appeared for a moment, and then disappeared completely, and Hinamori fell to the ground and passed out. Forcibly using number 90 to break the road, it's too messy. Chen walked over and helped young Sendao up. With Hina Moritao's Reiki, it's simply not enough to use such a powerful ghost, and the only person who is injured by forcibly using it is himself. Is Peach okay? Rukia put down the training in her hand and ran over to ask immediately. It's alright, it's just that the spiritual pressure consumption is transitioning, so the coma has passed, and it will be fine soon. Chen said. By the way, Onion, is your 13th division so relaxed? Our Captain Fukutake cares for us very much. I'm here for training, so it's okay not to stay in the 13th division. As long as there are urgent tasks to report in time, it's okay. Rukia said to Chen. Captain Yukitaki is more responsible than you. Rukia added again. Onion, I just found out now that you are an unconscionable guy. You were trained by me, and you actually called me bad. Chen cast a glance at Rukia and said. Humph, who made you keep calling me Onion? You are an onion in the first place, okay. Look in the mirror and see if you look like a big onion. Chen also kindly gave Rukia a mirror. Damn, who wants to see this? Rukia threw the mirror out in embarrassment, and would definitely change this hairstyle another day. Hinamori opened her eyes, feeling dizzy and extremely weak. I'm actually lying in the captain's arms. Hinamori Peach jumped up and covered Yuhi's shy face. You jumped up and down so quickly, it seems that you are recovering well. Chen looked at the young Sendao and said with a smile. Did I just fall into a coma? At this time, Hina Sendao also remembered the process of her coma. It seemed that she had just used the Outbreak 90 Black Coffin, and then she felt dizzy and unconscious. Now, Xiao Taozi, you should find a way to increase the spiritual pressure. Your spiritual pressure is simply not enough for you to release the number 90 breakthrough. Chen said to the young Sendao. Hinamori Dao lowered her head with a disappointed expression on her face. I was instructed by the captain for so long, and I was still so weak. It was I who failed the captain's expectations. Xiao Taozi, you think too much, I don't actually have any expectations. When Hinamori heard it, she felt a bolt from the blue. It turns out that the captain didn't have any expectations for me at all. Hinamori Dao had tears in her eyes. Scumbag. At this time, a passing Kasuga Yi Chong said to Chen faintly. No, actually that's not what I mean. I mean I don't want you to be too reluctant. I don't care how strong you are. It turns out that the captain doesn't care about me at all. Hina Morita crouched down and cried. Chen scratched his hair. I didn't mean that at all. How can I explain it to this little girl? Tisk tisk tilde. Rukia smacked her lips. Tisk tisk, you big bastard. Chen couldn't help knocking her, and Rukia wanted to cry in pain. Actually, what I hate most is the cowardly girl who sheds tears. Hearing Chen's words, Hina Moritao, who bowed her head and cried, moved her body, then touched her tears and stopped crying. Little Taozi, in fact, if you really want to increase your strength, there is no other way. Chen said to the young Sendao. Is there any way? When I have the strength, I will definitely try my best to help the captain. That's it. Go and learn how to cook. As long as you make food that makes me feel satisfied, I promise that you can improve your strength even when you lie down. Peach, don't be deceived. Lie down to improve your strength. How is this possible? There is nothing in this world that you get for nothing. Rukia said. Cut tilde. Whoever said that there is nothing for nothing, just that it didn't hit you on the head, shows that you are unlucky. Okay, then I don't know what the captain likes to eat. Young Sendao believed Chen without hesitation. That's it. In fact, as long as it's delicious, I like to eat it. Try to learn cooking skills. As long as your cooking skills are approved by me, you can become stronger. Chen finished speaking and stood up and left. Hina Moritao clenched her small fist. No matter what she did, she had to get the approval of the captain. Hey, Peaches, I see that he is clearly greedy and wants to trick you into making something for him. Don't be deceived. Master Captain won't lie to me, it doesn't matter if you lie to me. Hina Morita left the training ground and worked hard to learn how to cook. Forget it, don't regret it yourself, I will train myself. Rukia shook her head gently. From Rukia's point of view, it was Chen, the unscrupulous guy, who was deceiving Hinamori Momo, and Hinamori Momo's simple appearance was indeed easy to deceive. What do you three think? Chen asked, looking at the three daughters of Bambi-Ieta. I think it's fine, Bombietta said. When facing Chen, even the grumpy Candace is very restrained. As long as they think about Chen's strength in their hearts, they feel terrible. You don't have to be so restrained. The reason why I will destroy your invisible empire is that you sent someone to provoke me first. Chen looked at them, stretched out his hand and nodded on their foreheads. 3 golden tomo appeared on their foreheads, and then disappeared. This is, Menina asked cautiously. Is it the hands and feet that sat on them for fear of their betrayal? But they think too much, and they are not qualified to let Chen play tricks on them. This is my pupil technique, Gao Tianyuan. It can be immune to any form of attack. With this, even if 3.4 makes Yuhabak launch sanctification, it will not affect you. Chen said lightly. Although they received the power of the holy text from Yohabak, this thing also came at a price, and their lives and wealth could be said to be all masters in the hands of Yohabak. A sanctification of Yuhabak can make all their spiritual power disappear, and then return to Yuhabak. Quincy is all Yuhabak's pawns. Really, Bombietta, Menina, and Candace all showed joy on their faces. What qualifications do you have to be deceived by me? Is there anything worth deceiving by me? Chen asked them with a light look at them. Thank you, sir, we will do our best to serve you in the future. Menina said gratefully. In fact, the sanctification of Yohabak is the sword that has been hanging on their foreheads, and if it falls, they will die without a place to be buried. Chapter 708 The plot begins. Go to the world. Time passed quickly, and more than 100 years passed in a blink of an eye. During this period, Aizen did a lot of things. Zibo suffered from Aizen's calculations and became an ordinary person. But Chen also knew that the plot should be about to start, and Rukia had already left the Soul realm and went to the present world to kill Shu. Bloom. Feimei. Hinamori Momo's blade released a huge fireball, hitting Candace on the opposite side. Boom. Candace's thunder collided with Hinamori Dao's fireball, and the ground cracked due to the vibration. Shunbu. Hina Moritao used Shunpo, and her figure quickly approached Candace. It's very fast, but if you want to hit me, it's almost impossible to hit me, flying side. Candace avoided Hina Sendao's slash, and then punched her out. Lightning blast. The short bow in Candace's hand shoots super powerful lightning arrows, which is an extension technique used in combination with her holy character ability and holy annihilation arrow. Bound Road 81, breaking the space. The powerful defensive wall blocked the thunder arrows, and the roar spread throughout the entire 4th division. Little Tauzi is very powerful now, and she has been able to fight with Candace for so long without falling behind. Chen said with a smile. How eccentric. Broken Bee couldn't help but whispered. What are you muttering about? Chen put his hand on the head of the bee and asked the bee. I feel that you are too biased. You obviously have the ability to strengthen and improve your strength. Why didn't you use it for me in the first place? Broken Bee felt a little wronged. She had suffered a lot in training at the beginning, but she didn't expect that Chen actually had the ability to directly strengthen others. The current strength of Hina Sentao was strengthened by strengthening the fruit ability. Sorry, because I have too many abilities, so I forgot about it. Besides, isn't the strength that I have honed myself more valuable? Chen gave Broken Bee a bowl of chicken soup. I didn't feel it. If I could, I would like to gain strength without putting in any effort. Broken Bee said resentfully. I'm going to the present world, do you want to go with me? Chen asked towards Broken Bee. Yes, anyway, I don't need to deal with the affairs of the second division, just leave it to Omeda. Broken Bee said quite happily. Now the captain of the second division is Broken Bee. As for Yi Yi, she has now left the position of the captain of the second division and now stays in the fourth division every day. Are you going to the world? Yi Yi suddenly appeared behind Chen and Sufeng. What, do you want to go too? Chen Shangyi asked. Actually, I do want to go, but Broken Bee probably doesn't want to let me follow. I guess she thinks the two of you are the best. Yi Yi laughed at Broken Bee. Broken Bee's face turned Yuhi. What are you saying, Lord Yi? I'm not going with you, you guys hurry up. Yi Yi waved at Chen and Sufeng. Let's go, it won't be long before I'll be back. Chen opened a space passage leading to the present world, and took the hand of Broken Bee and walked in. As soon as Chen left, Bachenliu pulled Chong and came over. Aunt Yi, have you seen my father? Yi Yi clenched his fist tightly and punched Kalu Bachenliu on the head. Remember to call me sister. Wu Tilda, you hit me, just wait. I'm going to tell my dad. Bachenliu looked at Yi Yi aggrieved. Your father has passed away. Yi Yi squatted down and said with a smile while holding Ba Qianlu's small face. Xiao Chong, help me get my revenge. Ba Qianlu grabbed Chong's arm and asked Chong for help. She has already run away. Chong said, pointing to Yaiki who used Shunpo to leave. Xiao Chong, you are really useless, you actually let her run away. Whoops. As soon as Bachenliu finished speaking, he felt a pain in his head again, and looked at Chong pitifully, with full anger on his face. Tisk tilde, deserving it. Chong looked at the annoyed Bachenliu, smiled, and then turned to leave. In the present world, Chen and Broken Bee are standing on the street. I haven't paid attention to the present world for a long time. The changes in the present world are so great. Broken Bee said, looking at the tall buildings in the present world. Let's go, taste the food in this world. Chen walked into a noodle restaurant with Broken Bee. Boss, 2 bowls of noodles. Have you forgotten? He can't see us. Broken Bee said, pulling Locken's body. That's just because I can't see you, but that doesn't mean I can't see me. Chen flicked the forehead of the bee. In the eyes of the noodle restaurant owner, Chen was just talking to himself, and the frightened boss thought that Chen was a lunatic. While eating noodles, the boss was even more frightened to death, and ran away in fear, thinking it was haunted, but in fact, death is also a ghost. Looks like you want to use the righteous Mukuro. Otherwise, it would be too inconvenient. Chen said, looking at Broken Bee. Why can they see you? Broken Bee asked curiously. Because I already have a body. Broken Bee was stunned when she heard the words. She already had a body, so isn't that a human being? Broken Bee is the first time to know. Leaving the noodle shop, Broken Bee uses the Mukuro so that it can be seen by humans. It's really uncomfortable, I feel weakened to the extreme. Broken Bee said with a bit of movement. Speaking of which, what are you doing in this world? Broken Bee asked curiously. I'm here to see the play, a good show is about to be staged. Chen tugged at the face of the bee. What are you doing? Broken Bee opened Chen's hand in dissatisfaction and touched the girl's body. Although Broken Bee didn't hate it, it was not too much. It's nothing, I just looked at the difference between Yimukuro and the spirit body. I didn't expect them to be the same, and their chests are the same size. Chen glanced at Broken Bee's chest with contempt. You die for me. Broken Bee angrily pursued towards Chen, but Broken Bee is indeed petite, not more than 1.5 meters tall, and is like a child in terms of development. Could it be that you trained too hard when you were a child, causing your development to be stunted? If the Broken Bee knew what Chen was thinking now, I am afraid it would jump up and bite the dead Chen. Where are we going now? Broken Bee asked Chen. Find a place to live first. It's not good if you don't have a place to live. We have to live here for a while. Chen took the hand of Broken Bee to buy a house. I want to know, do you have any money? It's not the same as the money used in Soul Society here. Broken Bee asked Chen. Money? How much do you want for this kind of thing? For me, I never need to worry about money. Chen said with a chuckle. Yin-Yang Escape claims to be able to create all things, although it is indeed exaggerated, but creating some money is simply trivial. Chen took Broken Bee to directly buy a large manor, a very luxurious manor. Broken Bee was quite speechless. In such a large manor, only 2 people lived in it. Isn't it too empty? Chapter 709 Teasing Rukia. Hello everyone, I'm your new teacher. My name is Hyuga Chen. You can call me Teacher Chen. Chen stood on the podium with a smile on his face. And Kuchiki Rukia, who was sitting below, looked at Chen with astonishment as if she saw a ghost after seeing Chen. Chen glanced at Kuchiki Rukia, then changed his words and said, by the way, there is another transfer student today. At this time, the door of the classroom was pushed open, and Broken Bee came in from outside. As this transfer student from junior high school, Kurosaki Ichigo couldn't help but said looking at the Broken Bees who came in. What did you say? Broken Bee heard a cold light in his eyes, and the sharp eyes made Kurosaki Ichigo terrified. This little girl is even more terrifying than those Ku. You'd better not seek death, otherwise I won't be able to save you. Rukia reminded Kurosaki Ichigo. This little boy is called Broken Bee, and I still need your attention in the future. Broken Bee is rather shy. Chen touched Broken Bee's head with an unscrupulous smile on his face. In the future, Bumblebee will sit next to Rukia. Rukia, you have to teach Bumblebee well. I will. Rukia bit her head and stood up. This is really going to be the end, won't she be here to catch her? The god of death cannot lend her power to ordinary people, and now she has violated the rules, and it will be miserable if she is caught. It just so happens that Broken Bee is the captain of the 2nd Division and is in charge of the execution. Shouldn't she be executed here? Broken Bee took the vacant seat next to Rukia and asked Rukia, what's the matter with you now? Broken Bee could feel that Rukia had lost her strength at this time. Isn't it discovered? Rukia was startled. Hey, how do you two seem to know each other? Kurosaki Ichigo was startled. Rukia was the god of death. He knew that, so the person she knew might also be the god of death. Thinking that this petite girl who was no different from a junior high school student was the god of death, Ichigo Kurosaki felt cold. She seemed to be laughing at her just now. I wondered if she would kill herself. Captain Broken Bee, how did you and that guy come to life? Rukia ignored Ichigo Kurosaki and asked in a low voice. Does it need to be said? Of course it's to arrest you. Rukia, lending your spiritual power to humans, you know the law and break the law. The crime is one more class. Chen walked towards Rukia. Hey, you just said it in public. Kurosaki Ichigo couldn't help it. There are still ordinary people here. If they knew this, wouldn't it cause a commotion? Don't worry about Kurosaki Ichigo, they won't hear our conversation. Chen said lightly. Hearing this, Ichigo Kurosaki looked around, and sure enough, everyone didn't look this way. They looked at the podium seriously as if they didn't see this way. What's going on? Are they okay? Kurosaki Ichigo asked nervously. I don't know if they have anything to do, but you will soon. Chen took out the Zanpakuto and slowly pulled it out. No, are you going to kill us? Kurosaki Ichigo became serious. That's right, Rukia, you actually lent the power of the god of death to humans without authorization. There's nothing you can do, but you can only be executed. Chen looked at Rukia with a smile on his face. Rukia, you have to thank me. You were originally going to be imprisoned for 100 years, but because of my plea, it was changed to the death penalty for you. What? Rukia suddenly jumped up and looked at Chen with grief and indignation. I knew you would be pleasantly surprised. The ghost will be surprised that you actually hurt me like this. Rukia bit Kiba and looked at Chen. There's no way, after all, you've been coming to the 4th division, and I'm a little annoyed. I can only think of a way to kill you. Chen Tantan said helplessly. So you hate me so much. Rukia had tears in her eyes, and Rukia really believed what Chen said. That's right. You only know now that in the world of corpses, you come to ask me questions almost every day, and I don't even have time to rest. I'm tired. Rukia wiped the tears from her eyes and looked at Chen expressionlessly. I didn't expect that I would die in your hands one day. If you want to kill me, just come. Rukia closed her eyes in despair. She felt her heart was dead. Hey, I will never let you kill Rukia. Ichigo Kurosaki, who was ignored, said. Chen chuckled and snapped his fingers, and Kurosaki Ichigo fell into a coma. Since you're ready, then I'm here. Chen Yadao slashed towards Rukia. The blade suddenly stopped when it touched Rukia's neck. After waiting for a long time, Rukia didn't feel any pain, and opened her eyes and looked at Tatsu, who took the knife back. Why? Because I'm teasing you. Fool, I've been teased. Rukia. Chen's face had an unscrupulous smile. To make fun of me with this kind of thing. Rukia clenched her fists and looked like she was going to bite Chen to death. Then, what you said before that you hate me is false. Rukia asked. Guess this for yourself, Tilda. Continue the class. Chen walked to the podium. Kurosaki Ichigo-san, you sleep in my first class, which makes it difficult for me. After walking to the podium, Chen looked at the position of Kurosaki Ichigo and said. Ichigo, wake up quickly. Chadu Taihu pushed Ichigo and woke him up. Chadu Taihu is a good friend of Ichigo, and the relationship between the two is quite good. Ichigo, why did you sleep in class and were caught by the new teacher? Chadu Taihu said. Ichigo Kurosaki was confused for a moment, and then his eyes suddenly looked in the direction of Rukia Kuchiki, and he was relieved after finding that Rukia Kuchiki was doing nothing. What the hell happened just now? Did I have a dream? Kurosaki Ichigo said to himself, puzzled. Ichigo Kurosaki wanted to ask Rukia, but he was still in class, so Ichigo Kurosaki could only temporarily suppress the question in his heart. This is the end of today's class. Goodbye, classmates. After the class bell rang, Chen turned around and left. Rukia-san, I have something to ask you. After Chen left, Kurosaki Ichigo could no longer contain the doubts in his heart. Let's go out and talk. Rukia looked around at the classmates. There were some things that they couldn't hear. Hello Shokuho, my name is Inoue Oriheim, please give me some advice. Inoue Oriheim reached out to Shokube and stretched out his hand. Inoue Oriheim looked at the huge size on her chest, and then looked down at her flat body, full of resentment in her heart, and turned her head with a light snort. Chapter 710 Bring the Girls to the World. Rukia, did something happen before? Kurosaki Ichigo asked. Thinking of the scene of being teased before, Rukia snorted softly, and then said, No, nothing happened before, you may have fallen asleep. Kurosaki Ichigo scratched his head. Did he really dream before? But he felt something was wrong. Then what happened to the teacher who just came today, and the transfer student who was the same as the junior high school student? You'd better not offend them. They are the captains of Gotei's 13th team. They are very powerful. It is estimated that they are not enough to kill a rookie like you. Kuchiki Rukia said to Kurosaki Ichigo. She is now friends with Ichigo Kurosaki, but she doesn't want to see him killed. As long as you remember, don't provoke them. I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. Rukia and Kurosaki Ichigo said, and then left quickly. No, why are you walking so fast? I still have a lot of questions to ask. Kurosaki Ichigo said with a frown. Rukia doesn't have time to talk to Kurosaki Ichigo so much now, she still has something to ask Chen. Captain Broken Bee, where is that hateful person? Rukia asked Broken Bee. 197. He has left the school, do you have anything to look for? Broken Bee looked at Rukia and asked. Actually, it's the same for Captain Broken Bee, I just want to know that the Soul Society is not clear about me. I don't know, but I don't think I can hide it for a long time. I guess I will know it soon. Broken Bee said. What will happen if you know? What will the Soul Society deal with me? Rukia couldn't help asking. Don't kill her. If you say it's serious, and if you say it's not serious, it's not serious. The specifics still depend on the judgment of the 46th room of the central government. Oh, Rukia nodded, very worried in her heart, she won't be so cold. After returning to the manor he purchased, Chen directly opened the channel to the Soul Realm and established a permanent two-way space channel connecting the 4th division and the manor. Didn't you stay in this world for a while? You came back so soon, and where did the Broken Bee go? Could it be that you lost it? Yi Yi asked Chen. Damn it, I have opened up the passage between the present world and the 4th division. If you want to go to the present world, go directly into that passage, and you can be teleported to the present world. Can I enter the world in this way? I'm going to see the world. Ba Qinliu rushed in. Seeing Ba Qinliu entering, Bombietta, Candace, and Menina hurriedly followed, but they were responsible for Ba Qinliu's safety. In fact, Ba Qinliu's strength is also very strong, but there are a few people who protect nature better. Going to the present world, no interest, what is the difference between it and the soul world? Yi Yi lay on the table listlessly. You're wrong about this. The world has changed a lot now. Compared with the soul world has fallen behind. Really? Yi Yi didn't believe it. Do I need to lie to you about this kind of thing? If you go and see it, you'll know. Chen knocked Yi Yi on the head and said. In the end, everyone followed Chen to the present world. The manor is so big, this chair is really soft, it's much better than the soul realm. Ba Qinliu said loudly. As for Chong, she has now turned into a girl who is addicted to the internet. After Broken Bee came back wearing a school uniform, she was stunned when she saw the girls who appeared here. Why are they all here? You seem to be a little dissatisfied with your words, Shubi, don't you? Kiryu Hazun asked while pinching Shubi's face. No, I'm very happy that you are here. There was no expression on the Broken Bee's face, in fact, his heart was full of resentment. I didn't see the slightest bit of happiness on little Broken Bee's face. Do you dislike us for disturbing you and Chen's solitude? Yi Yi said with a teasing smile. Well, can you not ignore me? Said Rukia, who came here with her. Did this leave her behind? Rukia, I'm so happy to see you, but what about your strength, Rukia? Hinamori Dao asked curiously. Don't mention it, I lent my death power to a human, but I didn't expect all my power to be sucked away. Rukia said with a wry smile. Lending the power of the god of death to humans. Rukia, don't you know that this is not allowed? Hinamori Dao said hurriedly. Now that things have happened, I can't do anything about it, the situation was very urgent at that time. Rukia said, spreading her hands. Then is there any way to let Rukia avoid punishment? Hinamori Dao looked at Shang Chen. Don't worry, she will be fine. At most, she will be taken back to the soul realm and then executed. Don't be afraid. It's said that execution kills me, so don't be afraid. Rukia bit Kiba. Don't worry, I will save your life at that time, you will never die. Chen said while sitting on the sofa, drinking tea. That's what you said. If I die, I won't let you go. Onion, if you really die, I'm afraid you can't even be a ghost. I'm going to change my hairstyle tomorrow. Rukia said dissatisfiedly after listening to Chen's mockery of her hairstyle. Rukia has left, she is not here, she still has a task, that is to solve the emptiness, and now she has to deal with the emptiness. Although the power of death is gone now, there is Ichigo Kurosaki who stole her power of death. Taking away his own strength, how can you not let her contribute? Recently, there seems to be more and more emptiness in Kakuzucho. I don't know if it's my illusion. Broken Bee said after Rukia left. Maybe it's the ghost of Lan Ran. Chen said softly. Ran's ghost. He can control Shu. Yi looked puzzled. It's not that he can control the virtual, but the virtual circle has already fallen into his control. Now Aizen is the boss of the virtual circle. All these virtuals are under the hands of Aizen. Aizen actually controlled the virtual circle. All the girls were quite surprised. Although the virtual circle seems to be very powerful, it only seems that with the strength of Aizen, it is actually not difficult to rule the virtual circle. Will there be something wrong with Rukia? Do you want us to go over and help? Matsumoto Ranju asked. It'll be fine. Chen shook his head. Aizen's goal was the Bengyu in Rukia's body, so how could something happen to Rukia? Aizen would never kill Rukia until he got Bengyu. Ujawali stayed here for a while, and then left. Ujawali still had to deal with some matters of the 4th Division, but he would not be as leisurely as Chen, the irresponsible captain. Hibun Kiryu, Matsumoto Ranju and the others have no interest in the world, so they also went back together. Chong, a girl addicted to the internet, naturally stayed in the world and didn't want to leave. Bachinliu and Halibal also stayed in the world. However, if they want to come to the world, it is only an instant. If they want to go back, they can go back instantly through the space channel. Chapter 711 After all, there are not many younger than you. Xiao Chong, are you really not tired at all looking at the computer every day? It's so boring. Would you like to go out with me to play? Ba Chinliu shook Chong's arm. If you don't want to go out, you can ask Nailu to accompany you out. Chong shook her head. She was originally a house. Come on, Xiao Chong, let's go to school, find Dad. Under Ba Chinliu's forcible pull, Chong compromised and brought Ba Chinliu to the school. Wow, look, that little girl is so cute, and that girl is so beautiful. Is she also from our school? Why haven't you seen it before? It shouldn't be someone from our school, otherwise it's impossible to be so beautiful without a little rumor. The students in the school looked at Chong and Ba Chinliu and talked a lot. This big sister, do you know where my father is? Ba Chinliu stopped a female student and asked. Chong looked at Ba Chinliu silently. Do you know how old you are? She even called someone else's sister. Your father. Who is your father, little one? My father's name is Hyuga Chen, and he is a teacher here, Yakiryu said. It turns out to be Mr. Hyuga's daughter. But does Mr. Hyuga already have a daughter? The female student showed a disappointed expression on her face. Chong listened to this and stared at the female student. She seemed to have some intentions for Chen. Sister, let me take you to find Dad. By the way, who is this? The girl's eyes turned to Chong. I'm Chen's wife, Chong said lightly. What? The girl almost bit her tongue off, looking at Chong with a puzzled face. Looking at Chong's age, it was no different from a high school student. Could it be that teacher Hyuga Chen likes female students? So do I have a chance? The girl was lost in thought. Although Chen came to this school not long ago, he is very famous here. Men are jealous of women's admiration, and he receives more letters of confession every day than when he was in Junyang Spiritual Arts Academy. What are you stunned for? Chong Qing asked coldly. I'll take you to teacher Hyuga now, but is this cute little girl your child? The girl asked suspiciously. No, I was picked up by my father. Xiao Chong is not my mother. Ba Chinliu said to the girl. Bang! Ba Chinliu clutched the big bag that grew out of his head, and looked at Chong pitifully, with tears in the corners of his eyes. Don't say anything, I'm afraid that you will be sold one day. Chong said with a small fist. Humph! Don't look down on Xiao Chong, I'm also very strong, and I won't be sold. Ba Chinliu squeezed his fists and said dissatisfiedly. But you're stupid, Chong said, rubbing Ba Chinliu's head. I'm not stupid, Xiao Chong, I'm ignoring you, Ba Chinliu turned his head away. Soon after coming to the office, the girl knocked on the door and said, Mr. Hyuga, your daughter has come to see you. Come in. Chen asked them to come in. Just after Ba Chinliu came in, he rushed towards Chen and threw himself into Chen's arms. Why are you here? Chen asked while pinching Ba Chinliu's nose. I'm here to play with my father. Ba Chinliu rubbed against Chen's face and said happily. Mr. Hyuga, I won't bother you anymore, I'll take my leave. The girl who led the way left after she finished speaking. Ba Chinliu, come here to find what I want to do, tell me. Chen said while rubbing Ba Chinliu's cheeks. Tilda, I want you to accompany me for a walk, Dad. Ya Chinliu Si Kiba laughed and said. Is it okay? Ba Chinliu looked at Chen expectantly, for fear that he would not agree. Since it's Ba Chinliu, then of course there's no problem, who made you my good daughter? Chen took Ba Chinliu out of the office. Don't you still want to teach? Chong asked Chen Chong. Why is it important to accompany Ba Chinliu, right? Ba Chinliu, Chen said while rubbing Ba Chinliu's head. Well, Dad, you are the best to me, Dad, just now Xiao Chong beat me. Ba Chinliu complained to Chen. Chen glanced at Chong, and then said, you can rest assured, Ba Chinliu, I will definitely avenge you. What do you want to do? Chong looked at Chen vigilantly, especially seeing the smile on Chen's face. Chong's heart became even more uneasy. Tilda, you should know it in the evening. I hope you won't ask for mercy. Chen Xie said with a smile. Chong's face turned Yuhi slightly, he basically understood, and then he became angrier. Then I'll wait, do you think I'm the one who will give in? Really, I'll record it for you when you beg for mercy. Chen rubbed Chong's cream-colored hair. Hey, Teacher Chen, where are you going? Inoue Oriheim asked with a cute face after seeing Chen. Oh, I'm going to take my daughter out to play. You go and tell the students in the class that this class is self-study. Chen said to Inoue Oriheim. Your daughter, are these two? Inoue Oriheim was stunned for a moment, saying that Hyuga Chen looked about the same age as her. Maybe it's just looking young, but it's impossible to have a daughter who is in high school. No, it's only me. Ya Chinliu said. Oh, Inoue Oriheim nodded, that's right. But teacher, is it really okay to go out to play? Inoue Oriheim asked again. What's wrong, don't you like the self-study class the most? Just play whatever you want, remember to say it, don't forget. Chen pulled Chong and Ba Chinliu away. Tisk tisk tilde, there is such a beautiful female student. Her chest is the same as that of Matsumoto Ranju. Chong smacking his lips. Chong, in fact, don't feel inferior. After all, there are not many younger than you. You can still rank first. Chen patted Chong's shoulder and said earnestly. Changqi's face turned Yuhi, and she felt inferior. Where did she have inferiority? Humph. Chong snorted coldly, then stepped on Chen's foot heavily, throwing away Chen's hand and walked to the front. Just kidding, are you angry? I'm not angry, Chong replied coldly. Chen quickly followed, grabbed Chong's hand, and led them towards the amusement park, enjoying a rare leisurely life and strolling around. Even if you buy me ice cream, I won't forgive you easily. Chong said while eating ice cream. Chong, Tsunere's personality needs to be changed. Chen tugged at Chong's twin ponytails. Don't pull my hair, it's all messed up for me, I don't have Tsunere. Chong Baichen said with a glance. Can you guys not ignore me? Ba Chinliu looked at Chen and Chong resentfully. Okay, Ba Chinliu, tell me what you want to play. I'll take you to play. Chen squatted down and hugged Ba Chinliu. Ba Chinliu was satisfied and kissed Chen's face. Chapter 712 Killian's Attack. Why are they looking at us all the time? It's so uncomfortable. Chong looked at the people around them staring at them, with an unhappy expression on his face. What else, because I'm handsome. Chen Cao shook his hair with a warm smile on his face. Humph. Chang gave Chen a dissatisfied glance. Does this guy want to seduce the little girl? In fact, if there are high-quality girls, Chen really doesn't mind seducing them. The girls on the street are pretty good-looking, but they are still difficult to understand. I think they must think I'm cute, Ba Chenliu said with his little head raised. Looking at how young they are, they actually have children, these days. Alas. Yeah, I think that little girl is 10 years old, and her parents will not be more than 18 years old. This couple gave birth to a child at the age of 8, so scary. After hearing those people's comments, Chen and Chang are full of black lines. Believe it or not, I am older than your wife. Grandpa. Let's go for a roller coaster. It looks so interesting to me. Ba Chenliu pointed to the roller coaster not far away. Okay, since I came to play with Ba Chenliu, then I will listen to Ba Chenliu. Chen took Chang and Ba Chenliu towards the roller coaster. Forget it, I'm not interested in this. Chang looked at it and said. I said Chang, aren't you afraid? Chen looked at Chang in surprise. Who said I'm scared? I'm just not interested. Let's go together then, Chen couldn't help but said, dragging Chang up together, and after going up, Chang closed his eyes in fear. Chew, you can fly, so there's no need to be afraid of this. Who is afraid? I won't be afraid, Chang spoke with a trembling tone. Soon the roller coaster started. Chang didn't dare to open his eyes at all, grabbing Chen's hand tightly, his body trembled slightly, and Ba Chenliu was also yelling. Dad, I'm not going to do it, I'm going down, woohoo tilde. Ya Chenliu shouted loudly. Chen looked speechless. Don't say that the coaster is not so prone to accidents, even if there is an accident, then they will be fine. However, something really happened this time. A Killian appeared in this playground, and a virtual flash turned half of the playground into dust. Chen took Chang and Ba Chenliu to stand in midair. At this moment, the two of them turned pale. They were not scared by Killian, but by the roller coaster. It's really not fair. A Kyrian popped out all of a sudden. It's not enough to want to live a leisurely life. Chen shook his head and said. Fortunately, there is this void, Chang said with a pale face. In fact, Changshan is very grateful for this sudden appearance. If it weren't for it, she would still be enjoying the torment of the roller coaster. As for why he was afraid to ride the roller coaster, this Chang didn't know in his heart, he was afraid anyway. This great void Killian is very frightening. In the eyes of human beings, the existence of void cannot be seen. They thought the place was being attacked by terror and ran away in fear. It didn't take long for Kurosaki Ichigo to come with his big kitchen knife, and the speed was really fast. Tisk tisk tilde. With his current strength, I'm afraid he is far from the opponent of this Killian. Chen shook his head and said. How long has it been since Kurosaki Ichigo became the acting Grim Reaper? How could he be the opponent of this Daxu who is comparable to the vice-captain level? Kurosaki Ichigo does possess a terrifying Reiatsu, but he is definitely not the opponent of this Killian. As expected, Kurosaki Ichigo was slapped out by Killian's paw, and his body hit the ground heavily. Why is it Killian? Rukia was very anxious at this time. Kurosaki Ichigo and Killian were fighting, and now they are completely courting death, and they are not on the same level at all. Even Rukia herself was not confident enough to kill a Kyrian. Onion, do you need help now? Chen's voice appeared behind Rukia. Rukia turned her head in surprise. Why are you here? Is it because you were afraid that I would be in danger, so you followed me secretly, right? Are you secretly in love with me? Onyantu, your brain-enhancing ability is very strong, but don't you think too much? I originally played here with Ba Chenliu. Chen tapped Lucia on the head to help her wake up. Rukia looked embarrassed, her face slightly yuhi, embarrassed to death. I met Killian this time. Killian is very powerful, I don't know if that guy can handle it. Chen looked at the battle not far away. Hurry up and help Zero. At this time, Rukia couldn't care about any embarrassment, and hurriedly asked Chen for help. She is very clear about Kurosaki Ichigo's strength and is definitely not Kirian's opponent. It's not impossible to help, but you have to beg me sincerely so that I can help. Chen smiled and looked at Rukia. Okay, how can I be sincere? Rukia asked, biting Kiba. Just such a little bastard, what nonsense. A fireball flew out of Chang's hand, and Kilian was instantly killed. This kind of scoundrel, for Chang, can be destroyed by just using a little ghost. Okay now, I don't have to beg you at all, Rukia snorted and said proudly. Is it so realistic? Chang is my person, and now she helps you kill Kirian, shouldn't you thank me sincerely? Sorry, what is thanks? Okay, when you are executed in the future, don't blame me for not helping you, wait to die. Girl, Chen patted Rukia's onion and said. Thank you Captain Chen for your help. Rukia said immediately and sincerely. Perfunctory, if I really thank you, shouldn't I take off my clothes and lie down on my bed to thank me? Dad, don't you think it's too much for you to do this? Yachenliu puffed up to Rukia. Only scum in 4.0 needs to be so grateful, Chang said with a venomous tongue. Chu, why are you becoming more and more vicious? That's because I can't say anything nice about you. Originally, I planned to let you go, but you won't let yourself go. Chang, I didn't want to hold you accountable for bullying Bachenliu. Now it seems that I will have a good chat with you tonight. Quote. Bachenliu, did I really bully you? Chang asked Bachenliu. Of course there is. You hit a big bag on my head before, but it hurt me badly. The vengeful Bachenliu said. Don't worry, Bachenliu, I promise to keep Chang tomorrow from getting out of bed. Chen assured Bachenliu. Chang's eyes flickered. Are you looking for a place to avoid the limelight? But it seems that you can't run away anywhere. Forget it, pull someone to help me resist the damage. Chapter 713 Nocturnal Bees. The next morning, I lay down on the tatami at night. My body was weak, and it was difficult to move my fingers. She turned her head reluctantly, looking angrily at Kasuga Yi Chang who had her back turned to her. Qian, is this what you said to me? Yi Yi asked, biting Kiba. That's right, Yi Yi was the one who was pulled by Chang to resist the fire. Yi Yi was really annoyed now. If it wasn't for his lack of strength, he really wanted to clean up Chang. No way, whoever made you foolishly deceived, Mao Zhawali is smarter than you. Chang said without any guilt. Wait for me, Chang, this matter is not over yet, sooner or later I will let you know how powerful it is. Yi Yi said viciously. Then I'll wait. If I'm really planted, I can only say that I'm unlucky. Chang said lightly, making Yi angrily die. You two, get up. Chen pushed open the door and walked in. Look at us like this, can we really get up? Yi Yi gave Chen a blank look. Oh 6, do you want me to help you get dressed? Chen asked with a smile. I think you're trying to take advantage of me. Chang raised his head and said. Then lie down here. I kindly want to help you, but you take my kindness as a donkey liver and lungs, alas. Chen helplessly shook his head and sighed. Good intentions, only a ghost will believe what you say. Yi Yi said with a pouted lip. No, I don't think even a ghost would believe what he said. Chang said. Chen shrugged, then left the room. Staying in Chen Shichen felt pretty good, much better than the more dull Sierenge. Today's air is still so fresh. What a shit, Chen took a breath and said. The present world is more lively than Seraiti, but the atmosphere is not good enough. On the way to the school, Chen encountered a few ghosts, but they were all small ones. But according to the fact that Chen can encounter ghosts every day, it is really strange that the people in Kakuza town are not dead. It's not that Chen cursed them, but that there are so many people who are illusory every day. How is Master Yi? Broken Bee asked Chen. It's nothing. If you don't go and see her, I think she'll be very happy. Forget it. I don't think Lord Yi will be happy, it's too embarrassing. Broken Bee shook her head with a pale face. Broken Bee wanted to say something, but suddenly shut up again. What do you want to say? Don't hesitate, just say it. Chen said to Broken Bee. Actually, if possible, I can replace Lord Yi. Don't think too much, I just want to share the burden for Lord Yi. Broken Bee said with his head lowered. Really? Chen smiled and looked at Broken Bee. What are you laughing at? What's so funny, Broken Bee Tsunere snorted, then walked forward quickly, covering his face with his hands to hide his inner shyness. Actually, if you really want to think about Yi Yi, you can come to my room at night, but I just don't know if Yi Yi is willing or not. If Yi Yi thinks that you are greening her and slamming you, I don't care. Yi, Master Yi doesn't mind, Broken Bee whispered. Can you speak a little louder? I can't hear your voice at all. Chen said while stroking the hair of the bee. I think you are deliberately teasing me, Broken Bee snorted. She didn't believe that Chen really didn't hear it. He came to the school with Broken Bee, Chen went to the office, and Broken Bee came to the classroom. Captain Broken Bee, why are you absent-minded? Has something happened? Rukia asked, looking at Broken Bee's current state. Ah, Rukia, what did you say? Broken Bee asked blankly. I mean, why do you look absent-minded now? Did something happen? Did that big pervert attack you? Rukia asked in a low voice, leaning into Broken Bee's ear. What did you say, Rukia? Leave it to me. Broken Bee pushed Rukia away with a wicked smile. When I came home in the evening, the Broken Bee was still absent-minded, and even Chen was surprised. Bro, you're in a bad state today. Why do you keep getting distracted? Yi Yi asked to Sweep. Ah, I'm fine, Master Yi, is your body okay? No, with my resilience, it's fine to fight another 300 rounds now. Really, why don't we fight again? Chen asked towards Yi Yi. Forget it, I still have something to do. Mao Shawali wants to play mahjong with me, and I want to return to the Soul realm. Yi Yi hurriedly fled. After just recovering, Yi Yi didn't want to lie back weakly. At 12 o'clock at night, Broken Bee sat in her room for a while, then bit Kiba and stood up, quietly opened the door and walked out. Using a special seclusion technique, the footsteps have disappeared, and the body is hidden in the darkness, quietly sneaking towards Chen's room. Coming to the door, Broken Bee quietly opened the door and walked in. In the darkness, Broken Bee could clearly see anything. Not here. Why not? Broken Bee saw that there was no one on the tatami, and felt a little stingy in her heart, so she finally summoned up her courage. Shu Feng, sneaked into my room in the middle of the night, do you want to attack me at night? You are really bold, Chen said behind her. Broken Bee was taken aback by the sudden sound, and 453 turned around and gave Chen a super big Byakugan. Why don't you make a sound at all? You scared me to death, you did it on purpose. Said Broken Bee angrily. Yeah, I did it on purpose. Actually, I'm very curious, what the hell are you doing in my room, little Broken Bee? Humph, didn't you say that you came to your room at night? That's why I came. Broken Bee snorted softly, the dark night concealed the fiery yuhi on her face. However, the dark night couldn't block Chen's sight, so Chen could clearly see Shu Fengtong Yuhi's face. Well, since that's the case, let's come. Chen nodded, then hugged the Broken Bee. What are you doing? Broken Bee stammered. What do you think? Don't you tell me you don't know. Chen asked softly beside Broken Bee's ear. I regret it now, I want to leave. Broken Bee struggled in Chen's arms, because she was too shy, Broken Bee wanted to escape. Leave, come to me, why don't you leave when you want to leave? The prey that is automatically delivered to the door, I will not let it go. Chen nodded on the forehead of the bee. Broken Bee struggled symbolically, and then found a reason in her heart. Anyway, she couldn't struggle anymore, so she didn't struggle at all. Chen pushed the Broken Bee down on the tatami, and what happened after that was naturally self-evident. Chapter 714 Your brother is coming to catch you. The next morning, Yi Yi sneaked in, looked at little Broken Bee who was sleeping soundly, and stretched out his hand to pinch her nose. Tilda. Broken Bee opened his eyes in confusion, looked at Yi Yi and asked, Master Yi, why did you come to my room? Oh, is this really your room? Yi Yi asked. At this time, the confusion in Broken Bee's eyes disappeared. The events of last night were all reflected in his mind, and Broken Bee's face suddenly changed to Yuhi. I wanted to sit up, but there was a burst of pain in my lower body, and my body was a little tired, so I lay back halfway weakly. Grabbing the quilt, then silently covering his head, Yi Yi kept staring at him, and Brobe was very shy. What's wrong? Is the little bee still shy? I heard that you were a night attack yesterday. You are very bold. Yi Yi pulled the quilt that was covering the bee's head. Master Yi, don't talk about it. Okay Yi, don't bully Shuibei. Chen walked in and looked at Yi Yi. I just think that Yuhi's face with Broken Bee is really funny. After seeing it, I want to tease it. It's so cute, Yi Yi said with a smile. By the way, Rukia's matter has been discovered. It seems that his brother Kuchiki Byakuya is killing her in this world and taking her back. Yi Yi said to Chen. So soon, I don't know what kind of expression Onion would have when he knew Kuchiki Byakuya came to catch her. Chen's face showed a wicked smile. When you go to school later, be sure to tell her the good news. Looking at how sinister you were laughing. Yi Yi, you are so courageous, you actually said that I was insidious, so stay and sleep at night. Chen said with a stern face. Ujawali is still looking for me to play mahjong. So I'm sorry. Yi Yi, you have already used this reason, can't you change it? I can't help it, it's too hard to think about other reasons, I'm too lazy to think about it. Yi Yi said, spreading his hands. You stay at home and take care of the broken bees. Don't bully the broken bees, or if you let me know, you are ready to be meowed by the sun. After Chen finished speaking, he left without looking back. Yi Yi's face turned green, and the god fuck meowed. By the way, what about Kasuga Yechong and Yakiryu? And Nailu, Halibal, Bombietta and the others didn't see it either. Yi Yi Xiang shouted to Chen. You were dragged out to play by Bachinliu before dawn. You can stay at home and take care of the broken bees. Chen replied, and then walked towards the school. After arriving at the school, Chen looked at Rukia and smiled, then said, Lukia classmate, follow me to the office. Rukia looked at Chen with a question mark on her face. After following Chen to the office, Chen held the cup in front of Rukia and said with a smile, pour a glass of water for the teacher first. Can't you pour it yourself? Rukia pouted, but still obediently poured a glass of water for Chen. I just think the water you poured is a little sweet, Rukia. Chen smiled and looked at Rukia. Rukia's face was red Yuhi, and her hands seemed to have nowhere to rest, stirring constantly. I called you here, but I actually have something very important to tell you, Rukia. Chen stood up and held Rukia's hand, looking at her tenderly. Rukia's face became more and more complex. Yuhi-run didn't dare to look directly at Chen, and the shyness in her heart made her unable to extricate herself. Are you going to confess to me? So do I accept it, or do I accept it, or do I accept it? It's so confusing. Chen looked at Rukia and said affectionately, your brother is coming to arrest you. Rukia's face froze, looking at the wicked smile on Chen's face. Her anger did not come to her heart, it actually caused me to wait so long in vain. No, what am I expecting? Hey, are you scared after hearing the news? Chen asked Rukia. Rukia glanced at Chen expressionlessly, and then said, if you catch me, just catch me. If you get caught, didn't you say you want to save my life? I won't die anyway. You're quite calm, aren't you? Chen gave her a surprised look, but still said earnestly, your idea of handing over your life to others is wrong. Then what can I do? I don't have the strength to resist. Taozi and I are in the same class, but our strength is so much worse than her. Rukia looked at Chen aggrieved. Cough cough tilde, Xiao Taozi's strength has improved so fast, that's because of her hard work. Is it your unspoken rules? Rukia asked in astonishing words. Unspoken rules, you big-headed ghost, am I that kind of person? Xiao Zhendao made me delicious food, and I helped her improve her strength. I can only say that you didn't seize the opportunity. Knock on. Rukia pouted and asked, "Is it really my brother who came to arrest me?" This is what Yi said. "I guess it should be about to come to the world. It won't be long before you will be arrested and await sentencing." Chen shrugged and said, "Okay, I see." Rukia nodded and walked out. Soon the day passed, and the night slowly fell. Kuchiki Byakuya brought a Sanjing Renji to the world. "Captain, if Rukia is taken back, what will be done?" asked Renji Asane. "Waiting for the sentencing of the Central Room 46. Kuchiki Byakuya said with a blank expression. A Sanjing Renji wanted to ask for mercy, but didn't know how to say it. It's overdue, and it's a big sin to give spiritual power to humans without authorization. Take her back first." Kuchiki Byakuya's face was expressionless, and no one knew what Kuchiki Byakuya was thinking. "Yo tilde, Captain Kuchiki, long time no see." Chen appeared behind Kuchiki Byakuya and patted him on the shoulder. Kuchiki Byakuya's body trembled, obviously frightened by the sudden appearance of Chen. "Captain Hyuga, death can't come to the world without authorization. Why are you here?" Byakuya Kuchiki asked with a frown. "Even old man Yamamoto can't control me. What do you care about?" "But Kuchiki, you are so indifferent. How can I say that I am also your former teacher? You want to interfere with my capture of Rukia Kuchiki." Byakuya Kuchiki had a cold face. He knew that Rukia often went to the 4th Division and had a good relationship with Chen, so he was afraid that he would interfere with him. "No, I won't interfere, but you shouldn't mind me watching," Chen said with a smile. "If you want to follow, then follow. But if you interfere with my mission, don't blame me for facing you with swords." Kuchiki Byakuya's tone was very cold. "Ha ha tilde, whoever gave you the courage to face me with a sword, you have to be my opponent. Don't say this kind of big talk in the future. It's useless to say it." Chen chuckled twice. Chapter 715. Chen is going to do something. "Looks like you already know we're here." Kuchiki Byakuya looked at Rukia lightly. "Yeah, sorry." Rukia nodded, then glanced apologetically at Byakuya Kuchiki. What she did would cause some trouble for the Kuchiki family. At least not in face. "Rukia, why do you lend your spiritual power to humans? Don't you know the consequences of doing so?" a Sanjing Renji asked angrily. Rukia shook her head. The situation was critical and she had no choice. "Rukia, you really disappointed me. I always regarded you as my best student, but I didn't expect you to make such a big mistake, alas. It's because I didn't teach me well. I'm very sad." Chen sighed, with a bit of sadness and remorse on his face. Rukia looked at Chen, the corners of her mouth twitched. "What are you doing to join in the fun?" "Captain Kuchiki, I think it's better not to take it back, just execute it on the spot. It will be troublesome if you bring it back," Chen suggested to Kuchiki Byakuya. "Captain Hyuga, this is a bit too much." a Sanjing Renji looked at Chen in dissatisfaction. "I'm only responsible for taking her back. As for how to convict her, that's the matter of room 153, number 40, Central China." Byakuya Kuchiki said lightly. "It's really troublesome." Chen looked disappointed. "You want me to die?" Rukia bit Kiba and looked at Chen, so angry. "No, Rukia, I'm doing it for your own good. I'm testing them out. If they really want to kill you, I'll take you away. I don't understand my painstaking efforts at all." Chen clutched his chest in pain. "Follow us back." Kuchiki Byakuya looked at Rukia with a flickering gaze, and then said without the slightest emotion. "Where do you want to take my classmates?" A voice came, and a figure walked over in the darkness. "You can see us, you don't seem to be ordinary people." A Sanjing Renji pulled out Zanpakuto from his waist and looked at the person who came vigilantly. "Ishida Yulong, why are you here?" Rukia was also surprised when she saw the person coming. "Quiet master." Kuchiki Byakuya gave Ishida Yulong a cold look. "You go quickly, with your strength, you are not an opponent at all," Rukia said anxiously. "Humph." Ishida Yulong snorted coldly, looking at Kuchiki Byakuya and the Sanjing Renji's eyes full of hostility. because of his grandfather's death, Ishida Yulong was full of hostility to the god of death. Even if he stayed with Kurosaki Ichigo and was influenced by the protagonist of Kurosaki Ichigo, it did not mean that he had given up his hatred for the god of death. Renji, get rid of him. Asanjing Renji nodded and used Shunpo to rush towards Ishida Yulong. Although Ishida Yulong had a cold appearance and seemed to be very strong, his strength was not strong. He was cut down by 2 knives and seriously injured. Land. Stop, I'll follow you and let go of my classmates. Rukia stopped Asanjing Renji. Asanjing Renji's knife stopped, and Ishida Yulong was spared. Just as they were about to leave with Rukia, our protagonist Ichigo Kurosaki appeared. Stop, who are you guys? I will never let you leave with Rukia. Ichigo Kurosaki killed with a kitchen knife. Is this guy the guy who stole Rukia's power of death? Asani Renji stared at Kurosaki Ichigo angrily. You guys keep playing. There's nothing good about this kind of game, but Ichigo Kurosaki is my student, I hope you don't kill him. Chen looked at them and said, stretched out his hand and pulled Rukia, who was standing beside him in a daze, and turned to leave. Rukia's eyes widened as she watched the sudden appearance of another woman standing next to her who looked exactly like her and had the same breath. She couldn't believe it. Kuchiki Byakuya and the others didn't find anything wrong at all. With Chen's strength and a small demonic illusion, they couldn't figure out the south, east, north and west. They didn't know that Chen took the real Rukia away in front of them and left them with a fake Rukia. No, what's going on? Rukia asked Chen. She believed it had something to do with Chen. What, do you want to go back and be punished? Chen asked back. Of course I don't want to. Don't want to talk so much nonsense, don't worry. That's my wooden avatar, and it won't reveal any flaws. Chen pulled Rukia and left directly. The Benyu in Rukia's soul was also taken out by Chen and put into the wooden clone. This time Chen wanted to surprise Aizen and the others, knowing that even the wooden clone would not be weak. Rukia followed Chen back home in a daze. Is this really not going to be discovered? Rukia asked hesitantly. She was afraid that if she was really discovered, Chenya would be implicated. It's okay, with their abilities, they still can't see through my wooden avatar. Chen said calmly. Chen went back, but the battle continued. Kurosaki Ichigo broke out, and actually cut down Asane Renji, but that was all. Even if Kurosaki Ichigo is the protagonist, he can't cut Kuchiki Byakuya, otherwise Kuchiki Byakuya will really live on the dog. Captain, don't you just kill them. Our mission is to take Rukia away, don't worry about him, he has been abolished now. Kuchiki Byakuya glanced at Kurosaki Ichigo, who had lost his spiritual power and became an ordinary person, and then took Rukia with him. Kia returns to Soul Realm. Rukia, do you have anything to say now? After returning to the Soul Realm, Kuchiki Byakuya looked at Rukia indifferently and asked. Rukia showed a meaningful smile, and then said in a disdainful tone, My stupid brother, I have nothing to say with you, and I will have nothing to do with your Kuchiki family in the future. Kuchiki Byakuya frowned. Rukia he knew would not speak to him in such a tone. Are you afraid that your mistake will humiliate the Kuchiki family? Kuchiki Byakuya asked. Oh he tilde. What does your Kuchiki family's face have to do with me? Rukia looked at Kuchiki Byakuya coldly and ruthlessly. The reason why I accepted the adoption of the Kuchiki family was entirely because I felt that it would be beneficial to me to become a member of the Kuchiki family. Now it seems that I was really wrong. You can't even solve the little crime I committed. The family that uses it is really rubbish. Quote. Rukia, what are you talking about? Asanjing Renji became anxious when she heard what Rukia said. Kuchiki Byakuya's face turned cold, and frost formed around him. With a dead face all day long, do you really think I owe you money? I hate it when I see it. Rukia, how did you become like this? Renji Asanjing asked in confusion. Detain. Kuchiki Byakuya clenched his fists and said to Asanjing Renji, then turned to leave. Chapter 716 Return to the Realm of Souls. The execution begins. Captain Kuchiki, I don't know why Rukia's personality has changed so much, but there must be a reason for it. Please ask Captain Kuchiki to beg for her. Asane Renji found Byakuya Kuchiki, and wanted Byakuya Kuchiki to intercede for Rukia. Kuchiki Byakuya paused, and then said, the Soul Society has the rules of the Soul Society. As the four nobles, they should uphold the rules of the Soul Society. Wait for the judgment of the Central 46th Room on this matter. A few days later, the handling of Rukia has come down, and she was sentenced to death by the Central 46th Room. How can you be sentenced to death? Even if Rukia is at fault, it won't die. Shiro Yukitaki found Byakuya Kuchiki. This is the sentencing of the 46th Room of the Central Office. Isn't Captain Kuchiki going to intercede for her? She is Captain Kuchiki, your younger sister. Shiro Yukitaki frowned. No, she is no longer from the Kuchiki family. Captain Yukitaki, please come back. I still have things to deal with. Kuchiki Byakuya said indifferently. What a ruthless person. Shiro Yukitaki stood up and left the 6th Division's quarters. Kuchiki Byakuya's eyes flashed, and he finally calmed down, and began to deal with the affairs of the 6th Division. Regarding the results given by the 46th Office of the Central Committee, although many people think that it is too much, they have no right to refute it. Even Yamamoto Motoyanagi Saigakuni cannot interfere with the decision of the Central Office 46. In the present world, Kurosaki Ichigo got the help of Urahara Kazuki, and is now preparing to regain his strength through training, and then go to the Soul World to rescue Rukia. I want to know, what are you going to do? Yi looked at Chen curiously. Bring back the real Rukia, and use her clone to become Rukia and be taken to the Soul Realm. With the understanding of the night, if you really want to save Rukia, it will not be so troublesome. That's it. I thought Aizen was going to do something, so I'm not alone. I hope you don't blame me in the future, Rukia. Does it have anything to do with me? Rukia was stunned. You said that if Rukia slaughtered the quartet in the corpse soul world, what kind of sensation would it cause? Chen smiled and looked at Rukia. Are you going to do something with my identity? Rukia responded. Yeah, but don't worry, I will definitely clean you up in the future. Don't worry about becoming a big devil that everyone yells at. Chen patted Rukia and comforted. The more you say that now, the more worried I get. Rukia said silently. Time is passing, and with the help of Urahara Kazuki, Kurosaki Ichigo and his party successfully gained powerful power and then entered the Soul Realm. Chong, we all have to return to the Soul Realm, how about you? Chen asked towards Chong. I'll go back with you too. Chong put down the laptop in his hand and walked over to hold Chen's hand. After returning to the Soul Society, news about the invasion of the Calamity came from each division. The old man Yamamoto called all the captains to start a meeting. After so many years, the invasion by accident has really not happened a few times. What do you think about these daring travel disasters? The old man Yamamoto asked while looking at the captains. They seem to be here to rescue Kuchiki Rukia. I think it's better to arrest them and execute them together. Breaking into the soul world is provoking the majesty of Captain Yamamoto. These people must not be tolerated. Aizen said. Rukia's execution is imminent, they must not be allowed to affect the execution. Ichimaru Silver had a fox-like smile on his face. You take action and arrest them. I want to see who has the courage to do so. Lan Ran's eyes flickered when he heard the words, which was good news for him. It would be best if the Soul Society could be in chaos. After the meeting, the captains dispersed. Chen returned to the 4th Division, waiting for the good show to start. As for Kurosaki Ichigo, Chen did not pay attention to them. As the protagonist Kurosaki Ichigo, it should not be so easy to take a break. Soon after, the news of Aizen's death spread throughout the Saraiti, and the Saraiti suddenly became more chaotic. This was just a plan made by Aizen to disrupt the entire Saraiti. Why did you come to my 4th Division? Chen, who was sitting in the courtyard drinking tea, asked Inoue Oriheim. Teacher Chen, why are you here? Inoue Orihime looked at Chen with a look of surprise. Could it be that you were also arrested, teacher? I said, girl, can't you see my clothes? This is the Captain Yori, can this explain my identity? Oh, Inoue Orihime nodded, so Chen-sensei is also a god of death. Ten-sensei, shouldn't you arrest me? Inoue Orihime asked cautiously. What you said just reminded me to arrest her, Chen said to Bambietta and Candace next to him. Bambietta and Candace didn't say a word, and directly arrested Inoue Orihime. Wu tilde, Teacher Chen, can you let me go? I'm going to save Rukia. You can't protect yourself, but save Rukia, take her to meet Rukia. Chen waved his hand and asked Bambietta to bring Inoue Orihime to meet Rukia. Chen summoned the system panel, and then clicked draw. Congratulations to the host for acquiring the skill in love at first sight. That's not what I want. Chen shook his head speechlessly as he looked at the introduction to the skill of love at first sight. After encountering the opposite sex, there is a certain chance that the other party will fall in love with you at first sight. Chen didn't expect to have such a skill. Chen began to continue the second lottery draw. Congratulations to the host, the attraction of the opposite sex has been enhanced, because the original ability has doubled the effect. What I want is not the ability to pick up girls, the system, you are deliberately harassing me. Bring me Zanpakuto. There is no other way but to do the lottery again. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Architect's Skill Book. Congratulations to the host for getting Zanpakuto Sparrowbee. Congratulations to the host for getting Zanpakuto Shubaishui. Seeing Zanpakuto Shubaishui, Chen directly ended the lottery. What he wanted was this Zanpakuto Shubaishui. However, it took 5 draws to get it, so it is better to buy it directly with the exchange point. Putting Shubaishui aside, Chen also did not pay attention to the travel disaster, but waited for the start of the execution. If Rukia slashed Gote 13 with Shubaishui in hand, I wonder if those captains would die in shame. For this, Chen is looking forward to it. When the time comes, he will let his wooden avatar give Aizen a knife. I don't know if Aizen's expression will be very exciting. A few days passed in a blink of an eye, and Kurosaki Ichigo did a good job, and even Zakagi Kenpachi was cut down by him. Even without the help of Yuichi in the original novel, he was still very happy in the Soul realm. And the day of execution has come, and the long-awaited event is finally here. It is estimated that everyone's expressions will be very exciting today. Chapter 717 Charge the King of Destruction. The Hill of Double Death. This is the execution place of the Soul Society. Most of the captains of the divisions are gathered here, and even the old man Yamamoto is here. Of course, the already dead Aizen is impossible to appear here. At this time, Rukia had been escorted to the execution platform, and the old man Yamamoto's eyes narrowed, making people unable to understand what he was thinking. Haven't you caught those calamities yet? The old man Yamamoto asked suddenly. Well, those few trips are quite serious, and Captain Zaraki was injured in the previous battle. HMPH. Don't look for these reasons, solve those misfortunes as soon as possible. The old man Yamamoto snorted coldly, and he was actually very dissatisfied in his heart. A few guys who broke into the Soul Realm without authorization, and the captains still haven't solved it yet, which is really disappointing to him. Is the captain of the Goting 13 team already degenerate to such a level? Execution platform. Rukia glanced at everyone indifferently, and that indifferent gaze actually gave people a terrifying feeling. Yakuya Kuchiki frowned. What happened to Rukia? It felt like she wasn't her anymore. Rukia Kuchiki, you lent your spiritual power to humans without authorization, and broke the rules of the Soul Society. What else do you have to say now? The old man Yamamoto asked lightly. Hey Tilda. Rukia smiled sarcastically, and the laughter made old man Yamamoto feel a little harsh. Rules. Aren't the so-called rules meant to be trampled on? Rukia, what are you talking about? Yukitaki Shuru was a little anxious. The old man Yamamoto was so angry that he directly shouted, execution. Anyone who is at fault will not be tolerated by this old man. Shiro Yukitake was even more anxious. Originally, he wanted to plead for Rukia, but seeing how angry and furious the old man Yamamoto was, this time it was going to be bad. Wait, old man Sean, I think Rukia just made an unintentional mistake. She has already realized her mistake, so there is no need to fight. Jingle Chunshui also pleaded. Recognize my mistake. What was my mistake? The old man Yamamoto's feathers were screeching, and the Reiatsu was released involuntarily, and the breath on his body made people feel terrifying. Death without repentance is a heinous sin. Jingle Chunshui frowned. What happened to this Rukia? Do you really want to die? Can't you see we want to plead with you? Actually wholeheartedly adding chaos. Captain Chen, you have a good relationship with Rukia, do you want to keep silent now? Shiro Yukitake looked at Chen. Look at Captain Kuchiki who is indifferent to his sister's execution, what else should I say? Chen Tan said with a hand spread. Unblock Shuangsheng, execute. So soon, some people haven't arrived yet. Chen couldn't help but secretly said after hearing the old man Yamamoto's order. Kurosaki Ichigo hasn't arrived yet, so I don't know if this guy can Bankai without Yoichi's help. But because Chen didn't pay attention, I don't know, Urahara Kazuki also followed Kurosaki Ichigo and the others to the Soul World. With Urahara Kazuki's means, Kurosaki Ichigo learned Bankai in the same 2 days, and is now rushing here. Byakuya looked at the liberation of the twins, put his hand on Zanpakuto involuntarily, and finally let go of Zanpakuto after thinking about it. After the liberation of the double destruction, the King of Destruction, with the destructive power of 1,000,000 Zanpakuto, is the true form of the double destruction spear. However, the destructive power of 1,000,000 Zanpakuto should be blown out, or the destructive power of 1,000,000 shallow blows. This is the true form of the double spear, and it is also the final executor of this capital punishment. It will run through the body of the sinner, and the capital punishment will end. The old man Yamamoto said lightly. The energy fluctuation is really good. If it is destroyed, it would be a pity. Chen thought to himself. If you put this away for the system to recycle, you should be able to get a lot of exchange points. Just when Chen was thinking about it, Shiruro Yukitake and Chunsui Kyoraku looked at each other, and together they blocked the King of Ruin who was going to penetrate, Rukia. Rukia, I'm here to save you. Kurosaki Ichigo also came to kill him, arriving before anyone could make a sound. I don't know if it would be funnier to leave someone under the knife at this time. Chen couldn't help but complained when he saw Kurosaki Ichigo who was late. Compared to the original work, Ichigo Kurosaki came a little late. What are you two doing? The old man Yamamoto's eyes turned cold, staring coldly at Jingle Chunshui and Yukitake Shuru. It seems very bad to fight and kill. This thing is too dangerous, I will help you to keep it. Chen chuckled, and with one hand blocked the Ruin King Zero who attacked the past again. The King of Destruction turned into the original Spear of Double Death, which was directly put away by Chen. Hyuga-chan, do you want to save her too? The old man Yamamoto was furious, looking like he was going to kill someone. No, you guys continue, I'll watch the play. After Chen received the double slap, he went back directly. Where's Shuangsheng? Hand over Shuangsho. The old man Yamamoto stared at Chen tightly. Old man Yamamoto will take care of it for you. Chen Yi pushed the bodies of Jingle Chunshui and Yukitake Shuru. Shuru Yukitake and Jingle Chunshui had no choice but to bite the bullet. After all, they didn't want Rukia to be in trouble. Shuru Yukitake wanted to save Rukia because Rukia was in his 13th division, while Kyoraku Chunsui was completely helping Jiyu. Sorry old man Sean, I have to stop you this time. Jingle Chunshui said with a wry smile. He has a very good relationship with Shiruro Yukitake, and it is impossible for him to refuse Shiro Yukitake's gentleness. You two are so courageous. The old man Yamamoto was also unequivocal, and instantly shot at Jingle Chunshui and Yukitake Shuru. What should we do? Who should we help? The other captains looked at the scene of the fight and were a little overwhelmed. Rukia, I'm here to save you. Kurosaki Ichigo ran to the execution place and cut off the spiritual chains that imprisoned Rukia. Breaking into the soul world, it seems that I shouldn't have let you go. Kuchiki Shiro 2.4 Ya pulled out Zanpakuto Senbon Sakura and looked at Kurosaki Ichigo coldly. Hey Tilda, I really like this kid. Zaragi Kenpachi said, carrying the knife. Captain Yamamoto, stop first, everyone in the 46th room in the center has been killed. Hitsugaya Toshiro ran towards this side. What? This news made the old man Yamamoto stop fighting with Kiyoraku Chunsui and Yukitake Shuru, and looked at Hitsugaya Toshiro. Without the plot in the original work, Hitsugaya Toshiro still found out that the people in the central room 46 were killed, but compared to the original work, he was not seriously injured. Captain Hitsugaya, what's going on? The old man Yamamoto asked seriously. But before Hitsugaya Toshiro could speak, Aizen brought Ichimaru Silver and Tosen about to appear, and looked at the stunned captains with a smile on their faces. Chapter 718 Aizen who was stabbed. Captain Aizen, aren't you already dead? Shuru Yukitake looked at Aizen with a bad instinct. Being deceived by the illusion created by Aizen-sama, you are really a bunch of idiots. Dong Xian said disdainfully. Captain Yamamoto, I suspect that all the people in the central room 46 were killed by Aizen. Hitsugaya Toshiro said solemnly. The smile on Aizen's face disappeared, replaced by an indifference that made it impossible to believe that he was the once gentle Aizen. Captain Aizen, I want to know the truth. That's right, it's just killing a bunch of useless trash. Aizen walked towards Rukia. At this time, Aizen is no longer afraid of being exposed. Anyway, his purpose has been completed. After getting the collapsed jade, the two pieces of collapsed jade are fused into a complete collapsed jade, which is what Aizen wants to get. What are you going to do? Kurosaki Ichigo looked vigilantly at the man who brought him endless danger. Aizen pulled out his knife, slashed Kurosaki Ichigo to the ground with one knife, glanced at him lightly, and then looked at Rukia. Urahara Kazuki, do you really think I don't know where you hid Benyu? Lan 06 Dying used the soul foreign body extraction technology to completely take out the collapsed jade in the body of Rukia. Rukia always looked at Aizen lightly, without the slightest expression on her face, even colder than Aizen. However, Aizen didn't pay attention to Rukia, and in his heart, Benyu was the most important thing. Aizen, you killed the sage and the judge in the central 46th room. You are unforgivable. Take Aizen down for me. The old man Yamamoto shouted. Yes, did you also take refuge in Aizen? Zojun Ogokomura asked angrily and sadly. Dong Xian wanted to remain silent and did not speak. Have you forgotten what you said? This is the justice you want. Broken down 90 black coffin. The huge black cube locked Komamura Zojun in, and then countless swords stabbed Komamura Zojun inside. After the black cube disappeared, Komamura Zojun had lost his fighting power and fell to the ground. This scene shocked the captains. The strength is so strong that one move actually killed the captain of the Komamura Zojun. Fortunately, the Komamura Zojun resisted the fight, otherwise it would have died. Don't talk nonsense with them, let's leave now. Aizen said after killing Komamura Zojun in seconds. Originally, Aizen wanted to pretend, but the strength of the old man Yamamoto was extremely powerful, and with the unfathomable Hyuga-chen, Aizen didn't want to pretend. After the strength is strong enough in the future, let's pretend. Now he can't put it on. Want to leave? Have you asked me? The old man Yamamoto was furious, even more angry than before. Shinra Bansho, all creation, all ashes. Ryujin Jaka. The old man Yamamoto, who was blown up by his anger, couldn't take care of it so much. He used Shikai directly to kill this guy Aizen. Burn the city on fire. The flame palm wrapped Aizen, Ichimaru Silver, and Tosen, so that they could not escape at all. If they wanted to escape, they had to endure the explosion of 6,000 degrees. Captain Aizen, I want to know, what exactly did you do? Why did you betray Seo Lingting? Jinglekan asked the water quality. This one. It's not really important, but if it continues, Captain Hitsugaya may die. Aizen said lightly. The old man Yamamoto looked at Aizen and his pupils shrank. When did Aizen come out? Just when the old man Yamamoto was surprised, Hitsugaya Toshiro rushed out of the explosion, and the blade slashed towards the old man Yamamoto. At this time, in Hitsugaya Toshiro's eyes, the old man Yamamoto is Aizen, and he has been hypnotized by Aizen's Zanpakudo Kyoka Suzuki. Break it, Kyoka Shueyu. Aizen suddenly lifted Kyoka Shueyu. Hitsugaya Toshiro, who was slashing at the old man Yamamoto, shrank his pupils, and then hurriedly retracted the knife. This is my Zanpakudo, your 5 senses are now completely under my control, what you see is what I let you see, what you hear is what I let you hear, you have become me doll. At this time, Aizen was very excited to explain his Zanpakudo ability to them. Looking at their ugly expressions, Aizen didn't show it on his face, but his heart was very dark. Sure enough, you still have to pretend. You missed the best opportunity to escape, Aizen. Chen said lightly to Aizen. Aizen looked at Chen with puzzled eyes. Kai tilde. The snow-white blade pierced into Aizen's body. Aizen's expression was startled, then turned to look behind. The person who stabbed him in the back was actually Rukia, who he didn't care about at all. Are you surprised? Trash. Rukia you. All the captains looked at Rukia in astonishment, and they didn't know when Rukia did it. You're not Rukia, are you? Aizen asked. It doesn't matter whether I am Rukia or not, the important thing is that you all die. Rukia pulled the knife out of Aizen's body. You are too naive to want to kill me with just this knife. Zanpakudo in Aizen's hand stabbed Rukia with his backhand. It's you who is too naive. Rukia instantly appeared in front of Aizen, and then slashed him away with one blade. Ling Wu, sleeve baishui. The powerful Reiatsu was pressing all around, and the captains of the divisions also felt the pressure. Let's start with you, big brother. Rukia looked at Kuchiki Byakuya indifferently. Rukia, why? Shiro Yukitaki looked at Rukia in confusion. Aren't you going to execute me at 900? Now it's my turn to execute you, Chu Wu Yubai. Kuchiki Byakuya was frozen in an instant, and he had absolutely no resistance at all. It's incredible. Aizen-sama is seriously injured. Ichimaru Silver walked over and helped Aizen up, looking at him with a smile. Silver, don't talk so much nonsense, let's retreat now. Aizen said after standing up. You can't leave without my permission. The icy low temperature stopped the spirits in the air, everyone could feel the bone-chilling cold, and the ice and snow were spreading out on the ground. Humph! The old man Yamamoto snorted coldly, the powerful explosions dispelled the cold, and Shubaishui couldn't compare to Ryujin Jaka. The frozen Kuchiki Byakuya was also rescued. How is it? You are amazing now. Chen stood at the back and poked Rukia, who was hidden in a cloak. Damn, do you want me to be the sinner of the entire Soul Society? Rukia asked angrily. It doesn't matter, as long as it proves that this Rukia is fake, it's not you. Chen Tan said with a hand. Then what's in it for you? No, I was just on a whim. I wanted to see if the captains of the various divisions would feel ashamed and want to die when they were hanged and beaten by the Little Reaper members. Chen said with a smile. Chapter 719 Inches Rukia, Who Hangs Up the Captains Part 1. It feels bad. Rukia's strength can be so strong, and this powerful Reiatsu is no weaker than Captain Yamamoto. Ichimaru Silver squinted at Rukia who was floating in the air. It is very likely that it has something to do with Hyuga Chen. I have a hunch that it is definitely related to him. Aizen looked at Chen with indifferent eyes. Aizen, what do you think I'm doing? If you don't run now, you may not have a chance to run for a while. Chen kindly reminded Aizen. Broken Road 91 Senju Joushin eliminates cannons. Abandoning the broken path of chant, he fought towards the many captains in the distance. To be able to unleash such a powerful ghost, is it that Rukia hides her strength, or is she not Rukia? Don't worry about so much, take her down first, And Aizen, don't let him run away. Jingle Chunchui shouted. The favored son of the sky, the iron city wall, the dragon walking, the lion roaring, the tiger roaring, the wolf rushing, severing the heaven and the earth before it collapses, the 81 tying of the road, breaking the sky. Several captains used binding Dao 81 break the air together, which blocked the attack. Yamamoto Motoyanagi's muscles were tense, and Ryujin Jaka was wrapped in explosive flames, and instantly slashed towards Rukia. Bump! Baishui and Ryujin Jaka collided, and Yamamoto Motoyanagi flew out upside down, sliding out dozens of meters on the ground. What a powerful force, the old man Yamamoto said secretly in his heart, feeling the shaking of his right arm. Bankai Baixia punishment. A large disc-shaped white brilliance appeared in the sky, and a bright wave of light danced like a giant wave on the ground. All objects touched by the light wave would freeze, and eventually wither and shatter with the shards of ice. This is my Bankai. The real Rukia, who was standing beside Tatsu, widened her mouth in surprise. Then she couldn't help but complain. Suddenly I feel like I'm an imposter. Everything in Vientiane is ashes. Bankai Zenka no Tachi. The old man Bankai Yamamoto, the powerful temperature-suppressed Baixia punishment and my low temperature, and Baixia punishment still couldn't compare to Zenka no Tachi. Zenka no Tachi East Rising Sun Blade. Old man Yamamoto is very real, it seems that he wants to end the battle quickly. Chen said while looking at this scene. The turbid coat of arms is faintly revealed, and the unruly and arrogant talent, the tide, the negation, the paralysis, the momentary, hinders the long sleep. The crawling iron princess, the clay doll that constantly self-mutilates, combines, rebounds, and extends to the ground. Akatsuki's own powerlessness. Destruction 90 Black Coffin. Aizen used the black coffin to wrap the old man Yamamoto and Rukia in it. This time, it was the black coffin that Aizen chanted, and it was more than 3 times stronger than the black coffin that killed Komamura Zojin. Despicable guy. Jingle Chunchui rushed towards Aizen angrily. Ha! Aizen sneered. Although the stab wound was serious, he was definitely not something that Jingle Chunchui could deal with. Fall down. Aizen slashed Jingle Chunchui over with a knife. Although Jingle Chunchui was good, it was still far behind Aizen. In particular, Aizen also used Jinghua Shuiyu to influence Jingle Chunchui, and it is not surprising that Aizen killed him with one knife. After being hypnotized by him, I'm afraid we won't be able to defeat him at all. Shiro Yukitaki said with an ugly face. Captain Chen, can you solve Aizen? Shiro Yukitaki looked at Chen. Standing next to Chen, Rukia pulled her cloak and hid herself. In fact, she didn't have to do that at all, because of Chen's demonic illusion's influence, no one except Chen could see her. Aizen's Jinghua Shuiyu is too powerful. If I fight with him, I'm afraid I won't be Aizen's opponent. Chen shook his head and said. The black coffin released by Aizen burst open, revealing the old man Yamamoto and Rukia inside. None of them were injured, but Bai Shapu has now been cut off. Rukia looked at Shou Baishui with half of the sleeve left in her hand, and threw it directly, just in Chen's direction. Chen picked up the sleeve Baishui, which was half left, and then activated the power of the horse talisman to repair the broken sleeve Baishui, and then put it away. Shu Baishui was also drawn with great difficulty, and Chen didn't want it to be scrapped. Old man Chan, hurry up and end the battle, or the Soul Society will suffer. Jingle Chunchui got up and said. Oh, Jing Band leader can still get up. Aizen looked at Jingle Chunchui indifferently. Zenka no Tachi North Ashes of Heaven and Earth. The old man Yamamoto also knew the situation of using Zenka no Tachi, and directly used the strongest big move, trying to kill Rukia. The powerful sword gang cut out by the old man Yamamoto can burn everything. Even Chen's wooden clone can only be reduced to ashes by resisting this move. After all, the strength that the wooden clone can exert is still limited, and many of Chen's powerful pervert's pupil techniques cannot be used. However, although the move is strong, if you can't hit it, everything is nonsense. Ring. When the old man Yamamoto swung his sword, Rukia had already dodged in advance, but he still did not dodge completely, and his left arm turned to ashes. But this was nothing, and the left arm that was turned to ashes recovered in an instant. Fortunately, the wooden clone, if it was shadow clone, has now disappeared into a cloud of smoke. It's actually a virtual ability. The old man Yamamoto was even more angry. Wang Shu's flash. King Jing Qian Ben Sakura Jing Yan. Thousands of Sakura Kaien's billions of blades all wrapped around Kuchiki Byakuya himself in a spherical shape. This time Kuchiki Byakuya was used for defense, because Wang Shu's flash attack was Kuchiki Byakuya. Boom. Kuchiki Byakuya vomited blood and passed out. Captain Floating Bamboo, I'll attack you next. Rukia used Hibiki to appear behind Shuru Yukitaki, and then punched Shuru Yukitaki. At this time, Yamamoto Motoyanagi has already given up, and he will not fight with him, because the old Yamamoto after Bankai is too pervert, and the fight is just a scene of neither losing nor winning. Bang! Shuru Yukitaki was blown away by a punch, and he vomited blood and passed out. The speed was so fast that Shuru Yukitaki couldn't keep up. Hey, Captain Fuju is good to me, can you be gentle, and my elder brother, are you okay? Rukia asked Chen's hand. Don't worry, no one will die. Chen reassured Rukia. Kuchiki Byakuya and Yukitaki Shuru was injured at most. Yamamoto Motoyanagi Saijokuni saw that Rukia was no longer entangled with him, and with an ugly face, he released Bankai from Zenka no Tachi. If Bankai is not lifted, the soul world will be destroyed. In fact, if old man Yamamoto is not too worried, he dare not keep Bankai on all the time. There are really few characters in the entire Death God world who can beat old man Yamamoto. The temperature equivalent to the core of the sun is really too amazing, but when Zenka no Tachi is turned on, the ground is cracked dry, and the water in the soul world has evaporated by 30%. Chapter 720 Inches Rukia, who hangs up the captains below. Let them continue fighting, let's retreat first. Aizen glanced at the captains who were fighting, Rukia, and said lightly to Ichimaru Silver and Tosen. Hyuga Chen, I will come back to find you. Before leaving, Aizen glanced at Chen and said to herself. Stop. Chen called out to Aizen directly, with a bad tone in his tone. Yeah, Lan Ran frowned, looking back at Chen vigilantly. Did you look at me just now? Did you feel bad about me? You can say it. In the future, I will settle with you, but not now. Aizen said lightly. Then you'd better not leave for now. Chen stretched out his hand, and a barrier formed by spiritual power suddenly rose up, blocking everything here. You want to deal with me? Aizen narrowed her eyes, her right hand was already on the handle of Jinghua Shuiyu. I was just thinking, would it be a little bad for you to leave so easily and simply, and now you should stay here for the time being. Chen said lightly. Aizen pulled out the knife and slashed towards the Not 800 world, but the sword pressure that Aizen cut out did not even lift a wave of waves. Bang! Jingle Chunshui smashed over. He was seriously injured and vomited blood. The knife in his hand supported his body, and he half kneeled to look at Rukia. Fuju, are you sure she is really a member of your team? Jingle Chunshui couldn't help saying. However, Shuru Yukitaki was knocked unconscious by a punch, so he couldn't answer his question at all. Ha ha ha, Zaragi Kenpachi laughed loudly, and took off the blindfold that restricted the spiritual pressure on his right eye, and a powerful and terrifying spiritual pressure burst out. Seeing that, Rukia solved a captain-level death god with one move, Kenpachi Zakagi was not only not afraid, but even more excited. However, a single-celled creature like Shangzaraki Kenpachi has only killing creatures in its mind, so there should be no fear of this kind of thing. Holding the knife in both hands, he exploded his strength with all his strength, and slashed towards Rukia in the distance. This guy has to be brought down. Chen looked at Kenpachi Zengeki and said, rubbing his chin. Since this guy joined the Gating 13 team, he has been looking for him to learn from him. I don't know how many times he was abused by Chen, but he never gave up. Sometimes Chengdu wants to slap this annoying guy to death, so this time I will take the opportunity to let him lie on the hospital bed for a while longer. Chen directly gave the wooden clone an order to let him lay down a heavy hand and let Kenpachi lie down for a few months. Upon receiving Chen's order, Rukia, hand sealed with both hands. Senpo, Sage Art Mokuden, Wood Style, Shinsusenju Top Kazuo. The appearance of a giant Buddha with an incomparably gigantic body shocked Yamamoto Motoryu Saijokuni. It was the first time he had seen such a big thing. Is this the ability that your clone uses? Rukia opened her mouth wide and was extremely shocked. Your clone is so powerful, I want to know how strong you are. Rukia couldn't help but said looking at Chen. Chen shrugged and said lightly, actually, I don't know how strong I am. This is not Chen pretending to force. After swallowing Bangyu, Chen's strength is improving every day, and now he doesn't know how strong he is, because he has never used all his strength. Senju Buddha used by Chen's wooden avatar is much more powerful than Senju Hashirama's. Countless fists and palm prints hit Zaraki Kenpachi, each fist like a missile. The attack speed is very fast, and there is no way to avoid it. Of course, with the character of Kenpachi Zengeki, it was the kingly way just now, and there is no such thing as avoidance. After one round of attacks, Senju Buddha's arm was broken in half, and Kenpachi Zaraki was dying from his severe injuries. This big guy's attack is really terrible. I don't know if Captain Zaragi is still alive. Ichimaru Silver said with narrowed eyes. Rukia looked at Aizen and the three of them after finishing Zaraki Kenpachi. Senju Buddha's broken arm grew again, and then attacked Aizen and them. After one round of attacks, it was another round of attacks. After the huge arm was broken, it regenerated again, and the attacks continued. Captain Aizen, keep defending, I'm afraid we will be killed sooner or later. Ichimaru Silver looked at Aizen, wanting to see how his face changed. Who said that if you want to keep defending, can't you take the initiative to attack? Silver, Aizen said lightly, looking at the defensive wall that was already on the verge of being broken in front of her. How is Captain Aizen going to attack? Ichimaru Silver looked at Aizen curiously. He wanted to see Aizen's methods. The turbid coat of arms is faintly revealed, and the unruly and arrogant talent, the tide, the negation, the paralysis, the momentary, hinders the long sleep. The crawling iron princess, the clay doll that constantly self-mutilates, combines, bounces, and extends to the ground, knowing Akatsuki's own powerlessness. Destruction 90 Black Coffin. Aizen used a supergiant black coffin and locked the entire Mokuden, wood-style Buddha inside. The huge Reiatsu felt unreal. Aizen's face was calm. Ichimaru Silver looked at Aizen with great fear, and released such a big black coffin. How strong is Aizen's spiritual pressure? In fact, Ichimaru Silver didn't know Aizen's current suffering. Although the surface was very calm, only he knew the consumption of it. The Mokuden wood-style Buddha was strangled in an instant, but Rukia did not die inside, and rushed out instantly, punching Aizen in the abdomen. Aizen spit out a mouthful of blood with a wow, and slammed heavily on the barrier made by Chen. The original injury and the current injury caused Aizen to be severely injured. Lord Aizen. Toxian felt anxious, pulled out his knife and thought of Rukia, and chopped it. However, Lanran was beaten to the ground by a punch. What else would he want to do? He would also be knocked down with a punch. Toshiro was also unfortunately killed in seconds, and even Zanpakuto didn't have time to liberate, and the captains of Gote 13 were basically all lying in their nests. Ichimaru Silver was smart, and quickly hid behind him, looking at the severely injured Aizen with a trace of killing intent in his eyes. In the end the killing intent was hidden. Although Aizen has been hit hard now, who knows if he is pretending. The old man Yamamoto also felt that his face was dull when he looked at the captains who fell to the ground. But looking at this, Rukia, old man Yamamoto also found it difficult. If he made a full effort, Old Man Yamamoto was absolutely sure he could solve the opponent, but the Soul realm did not exist. Sure enough, Zanpakuto's power is also bad, unless Old Man Yamamoto doesn't care. But now the Old Man Yamamoto is no longer the ruthless sword ghost he once cared about. How could he destroy the Soul World? Chen shook his head gently. Enough to play around, let's clean up Rukia first. Otherwise, everyone in the Gote 13 team would not let her go.